As the morning unfolds, preparations for the day's menu are underway with skewers being carefully coated in sauce. A conversation reveals the weather forecast predicts a hot day, prompting a quick decision to adjust the lunch offerings accordingly. The atmosphere is calm but purposeful, with the team readying themselves to open their establishment. Finally, with everything set, the curtain is drawn back, signaling the start of a new day at the restaurant. As the city wakes up, the morning rush begins with people boarding the train, laughter and chatter filling the air. At the station, a man waits quietly, lost in thought as the world moves around him. On the train, two schoolgirls share a lively conversation, teasing and joking with each other. One playfully calls out to her friend Tsubasa, who responds with a bright smile, her laughter genuine and carefree. Their light-hearted exchange reveals a close bond, with one insisting she's serious about something being too ridiculous to believe. Meanwhile, a subtle moment unfolds as someone quietly removes an earring, hinting at a deeper, more personal side beneath the cheerful facade. As the train hums along, the lively chatter between two schoolgirls continues, one teasing Tsubasa about something she finds hard to believe. Tsubasa responds with a bright, genuine smile, her carefree laughter filling the space between them. Yet beneath this light-hearted moment, Tsubasa quietly removes an earring, revealing a more thoughtful side. Meanwhile, a woman nearby, focused and serious, interrupts the conversation with a sharp question. She admits she was concentrating on her studies, pulling out a book to explain she's using the train ride for some quick review. Despite the interruption, the girls admire her dedication, praising her as amazing and always studying. The woman's calm demeanor contrasts with their playful energy, but even she can't help but be nudged to show a bit more interest in their lively exchange as they all prepare to disembark together. As the group disembarks from the train, their conversation turns toward personal goals and ambitions. One of the women asks if anyone is aiming for qualifications or planning to change jobs, sparking a discussion about learning and self-improvement. Tsubasa admits she's serious about her studies, determined to make good use of her time. Though she doesn't plan to stay in her current job forever, her dedication is clear, especially as her friends praise her for regularly practicing yoga and learning English. Despite the busyness, they remind her to relax occasionally, suggesting a casual lunch outing this Sunday followed by some downtime. The invitation to visit an organic vegetable shop adds a light, hopeful note to their plans, blending the pursuit of growth with moments of simple enjoyment. As the group continues their lively conversation, one of the women invites everyone to join them occasionally for outings, but the blonde woman politely declines, explaining she plans to focus on her studies at home over the weekend. Just as the mood lightens, a sudden rush causes an accidental bump, and the blonde woman loses her balance. In a tense moment, she slips and falls, drawing shocked gasps from her friends who quickly react to the unexpected mishap. Just as the group's weekend plans are being discussed, a sudden jostle in the crowd causes the blonde woman to lose her balance and stumble. Before she can fall, a tall man quickly reaches out, catching her with a firm but gentle grip. Concern flashes across his face as he asks if she's all right. His voice filled with genuine worry. She blushes, a bit flustered but relieved, assuring him that she's fine and didn't hurt her feet. The moment lingers with a subtle warmth, hinting at a connection, sparked by this unexpected encounter amid the bustling station. As the group continues their journey, the blonde woman who had just been caught from falling quietly flicks her earring back on, relieved. The tall man who helped her offers a warm smile and a casual goodbye, winking as he waves and walks away, leaving a subtle impression on the women. Suddenly, the two schoolgirls recognize him and excitedly point out that he's the same guy from the cafe they had mentioned earlier. Their surprise and excitement ripple through the group, with one of them exclaiming that she knew it all along. The realization adds a new layer of intrigue to the day's encounters, as the women watch him disappear into the distance, their curiosity piqued by this unexpected connection. As the group continues their journey, the two schoolgirls excitedly recognize the tall man who had caught the blonde woman from falling earlier. They reveal that he works at a popular nearby cafe, a place that's been booming and gaining more customers lately. Curious, one of the women asks for the cafe's name, and after a moment of thought, the blonde woman recalls it. Rokuhudu. The scene then shifts to a quiet, atmospheric view of the cafe's entrance, framed by tall bamboo and softly glowing lanterns, setting the stage for what promises to be an intriguing connection between the characters and this new location. As the day winds down, the group's lively chatter fades into the evening calm, and the focus shifts to a quiet discovery. The blonde woman finds herself standing before a quaint, old-fashioned coffee shop nestled in a narrow street lined with bamboo, surprised by its presence. She admits she never realized there was such a place nearby, having always gone to the familiar Starbucks in front of the station. Drawn by curiosity and a desire for a change of scenery, she decides to study here tonight. The building's traditional architecture and softly glowing lanterns create a serene atmosphere, a stark contrast to the bustling city she's used to. Looking up at the structure, she notes its age and charm, sensing that this unassuming cafe might hold something special. This quiet moment marks a new chapter, hinting at the connections and stories waiting to unfold within this timeless space. As evening settles over the city, Tsubasa finds herself on a quiet train, her determination to study shining through despite the day's distractions. Her friends tease her playfully, but she insists she's serious about making the most of her time. Later, drawn by curiosity, she arrives at an old, traditional cafe she had never noticed before. Its wooden sign and softly swaying curtains hinting at a story behind its doors, though she wonders if it might be a newly opened spot given its popularity. The atmosphere feels unexpectedly different from the bustling modern cafes she knows. Without hesitation, she steps inside, greeted by a calm, welcoming voice that invites her in. This moment marks the beginning of something new, as the quiet charm of the cafe promises to unfold fresh connections and experiences for her. As the train hums quietly along the tracks, Tsubasa sits determinedly, her friends teasing her about her serious study plans, but she remains resolute, insisting that she's focused and ready to make the most of her time. Soon, her curiosity leads her to the traditional cafe she had noticed earlier, a place that stands out with its wooden sign and gently swaying curtains. Stepping inside, she's greeted by a calm, welcoming presence, embodied by a man dressed in a classic kimono who holds a menu. With a composed smile, the serene atmosphere of the cafe contrasts sharply with the bustling city outside, promising a new chapter filled with unexpected connections and quiet moments of discovery for Tsubasa. As the evening deepens, Tsubasa finds herself inside the traditional cafe, still adjusting to the quiet atmosphere that contrasts so sharply with the city's usual buzz. When the man dressed in a casual kimono approaches to take her order, she's momentarily caught off guard by his calm, composed presence and the fact that the staff here wear kimono as their uniform. Gathering herself, she orders a latte and a glass of water, to which he responds with a polite and reassuring smile. Sitting down, she takes in the cafe's retro interior, feeling a wave of nostalgia wash over her, though she admits she wouldn't mind if her latte isn't quite what she expected. The charm of the place and its timeless design begin to settle her nerves, hinting that this quiet spot might become a new refuge for her amidst the chaos of daily life. As the train hums quietly along, Tsubasa remains focused on her studies despite her friends' playful teasing about her seriousness, determined to make the most of her time. She finally settles into the traditional cafe she had noticed earlier, a place that feels worlds away from the usual city bustle. Immersed in the cafe's nostalgic atmosphere, she begins reviewing her notes, reminding herself of the reason she came here in the first place. Just as she starts to concentrate, a calm voice interrupts her moment of solitude. Looking up, she is surprised to see the man in a kimono who had greeted her earlier, now bringing her order with a warm smile. Recognizing her immediately, he cheerfully acknowledges her as the lady from earlier, sparking a quiet but meaningful connection that hints at the unfolding stories waiting within this serene space. Just as Tsubasa settles into the quiet cafe, a man in a kimono approaches her table, apologizing for the earlier interruption and explaining he had been in a rush to buy supplies. He offers his sincere apologies, showing a respectful and earnest demeanor. Then, with a warm smile, he presents her latte, proudly mentioning that he put extra effort into the latte art this time. Surprised, she looks closely and realizes that the delicate design floating atop the frothy surface is indeed latte art. Special touch that adds a charming, personal flair to her drink. This small but thoughtful gesture deepens the connection between them, hinting at the gentle warmth and unexpected moments that this traditional cafe holds in store for her. As Tsubasa settles into the quiet cafe, the man in the kimono returns with her latte, proudly presenting it with a smile and explaining that he put extra care into the latte art. When she looks closely, she notices the design, a bunny, floating delicately atop the foam. Surprised by his cheerful declaration that it's a bunny, she can't help but feel a mix of amusement and curiosity. Taking a sip of her drink, she reflects that while the latte art might be a bit unconventional, it still counts as art in its own way. She admits that the cafe's charm partly comes from the staff's good looks, which likely adds to its popularity. Despite the latte's unusual impact, she decides to accept it and enjoy the moment, her eyes widening as something unexpected catches her attention, hinting at more surprises to come in this serene, nostalgic space. As Tsubasa takes a tentative sip of her latte, she's immediately struck by how fluffy and lightly sweet the milk is, perfectly balanced with the rich aroma of the coffee. Despite the latte art's unusual appearance, the taste surprises her. It's genuinely delicious. The unexpected quality of the drink only adds to its charm, making her appreciate the cafe's popularity even more. Just then, the man in the kimono returns with a warm welcome. Catching her attention, she tries to refocus on her studies, but can't help but notice the skill behind the latte. Quietly impressed by the barista's talent and the cozy atmosphere that continues to draw her in. The next day, Tsubasa finds herself sitting across from a friend who excitedly asks if she really went to Rokuhuru yesterday. Blushing and caught off guard, she confirms it, and her friend beams, thrilled by the news, as they share a meal. Her friend playfully points out a speck of rice by Tsubasa's mouth. Teasing her lightly, Tsubasa admits she wants to visit again, especially because the staff there are so good-looking, though she also notes the store feels a bit old-fashioned. Meanwhile, Tsubasa reflects quietly on her newfound appreciation for coffee, though she's never been particularly interested before. The latte she had at Rokuhuru has left a lasting impression. Watching her friend enjoy the food, she wonders if the other drinks at the cafe might be just as delicious, hinting at her growing curiosity and the possibility of more visits to this charming, nostalgic spot. As evening falls, Tsubasa finds herself once again drawn to the peaceful cafe, greeted by the familiar presence of the man in the kimono who welcomes her warmly. Though she feels a bit embarrassed to be back so soon, she appreciates the quiet atmosphere, which is a welcome contrast to the bustling coffee chains she's used to. Taking a seat, she contemplates the menu, noting the variety of drinks like latte, matcha cappuccino, matcha latte, and hojicha latte. Her curiosity grows as she discovers an impressive selection of desserts, including matcha parfait, kanako parfait, and traditional Japanese sweets like daifuku and narakiri sets. The thoughtful menu reflects the cafe's blend of classic charm and refined taste, inviting her to explore more than just coffee on her next visit. As the scene shifts to a bustling train station, Tsubasa is suddenly pulled into a lively conversation with a friend who playfully accuses her of lying, only to be met with her earnest denial. The two share a light-hearted moment, laughter filling the air as they enjoy each other's company. Later, the atmosphere transitions to a cozy cafe where Tsubasa is served a beautifully arranged mini matcha parfait alongside a cappuccino. The generous portions immediately catch her off guard, and she finds herself pleasantly surprised by how much better the dessert tastes than she had anticipated. Taking a bite, she savors the rich matcha flavor, delighting in the sweet treat. Despite a brief internal debate about indulging in sweets, she decides it's perfectly fine to enjoy them occasionally, embracing the comforting and satisfying experience the cafe offers. As the lively chatter fades, the scene shifts to a bustling train station where Tsubasa is caught in a playful exchange with a friend who teases her about a story she's told. Their laughter fills the air, lightening the mood before the story moves back to the cozy cafe. There, Tsubasa indulges in a beautifully presented mini matcha parfait paired with a cappuccino. The rich, slightly sweet flavors of the dessert surprise her, especially when combined with the moderately sweetened whipped cream and red bean paste, which create a delightful harmony. Each bite leaves her wanting more, the taste lingering pleasantly as she savors the moment. The cappuccino complements the parfait perfectly, adding to the comforting experience. After finishing, she feels a gentle sense of healing wash over her, a quiet respite from the day's busyness. Just then, a man with striking red hair approaches, his gaze lingering thoughtfully. He asks if she's finished, and as she prepares to leave, she quietly resolves to hit the gym the next day to work off the indulgence. The encounter leaves an impression, the warmth of the cafe and its offerings weaving a subtle but lasting charm around her. As the scene shifts back to the cozy cafe, Tsubasa finds herself engaged in a lively conversation with a friend who playfully accuses her of lying, only to be met with her earnest denial. Their laughter fills the air, lightening the moment before the focus returns to the warm ambience of the cafe. There, the man in the kimono approaches with a calm yet intense presence, catching her slightly off guard as he asks if something is wrong. She hesitates but then inquires about the nagashi and other sweets, curious if they are made in-house. His expression softens as he confirms that everything is indeed prepared on-site, a point of pride that adds to the cafe's charm. Tsubasa, still a bit surprised by his serious demeanor, quietly thanks him, feeling a deeper appreciation for the care and craftsmanship behind the delicious offerings she has come to enjoy. At the train station, a playful exchange unfolds as a friend teases Tsubasa, accusing her of lying, only for her to firmly deny it, sparking laughter between them. Later, in the cozy cafe, the atmosphere shifts as a man with a knowing smile comments on the surprisingly extensive and delicious menu. hinting that such tempting offerings will surely draw her back repeatedly. Tsubasa, caught off guard by the variety and quality, realizes she might indeed become a regular, yet determined to stay. Focused, she reminds herself that she came to study, not to indulge, and hurriedly tries to finish her work, even as the tempting treats around her beckon. As the day unfolds, Tsubasa finds herself caught in a playful yet earnest exchange with a friend at the train station. Where laughter breaks the tension of a teasing accusation, their lighthearted banter offers a brief but welcome respite from the rush of daily life. Soon after, the scene shifts to a serene cafe named Rokuhudu, where a man in traditional attire greets the calm atmosphere with a gentle smile. Inside, the cafe's quiet and leisurely vibe is evident, with patrons absorbed in their own moments of peace. Meanwhile, Tsubasa is seen balancing her routine, running on a treadmill as she maintains her fitness, embodying a sense of discipline and calm. The man's presence and the attentive staff's excellent service add to the cafe's charm, creating a welcoming space where time seems to slow down. This blend of tranquility, good service, and thoughtful ambience leaves a lasting impression, inviting Tsubasa and the readers to appreciate the simple pleasures of a peaceful day. At the train station, a playful moment unfolds as a friend teases Tsubasa, accusing her of lying, only for her to firmly deny it, sparking laughter between them and lightening the mood. Later, back at the cafe, the atmosphere shifts as a woman praises the desserts and coffee, admitting they are painfully good. Yet, she confesses a frustration that despite coming to Rokuhudu to study, she never seems to make any progress. The weight of this realization settles heavily on her, leaving her feeling defeated and unmotivated to even open her textbook, highlighting the bittersweet struggle of balancing indulgence and discipline. At the train station, a playful exchange breaks out as a friend teases Tsubasa, accusing her of lying, only for her to firmly deny it, sparking laughter that lightens the mood between them. Meanwhile, inside the cafe, a man greets a frustrated woman who admits her schedule has never been this messed up before, blaming her lack of willpower for her inability to focus, despite knowing she shouldn't. She can't help but keep coming back to the cafe, drawn by the comforting atmosphere and tempting menu. Determined to break her pattern, she finally takes a bold step and orders a meal, the lovely fragrance filling the air as she feels a spark of excitement. This small act marks a turning point, as she embraces the moment and the promise of something new amidst her struggles. At the train station, a playful exchange unfolds as a friend teasingly accuses Tsubasa of lying, but she quickly denies it with earnestness, sparking laughter that lightens the mood between them. Later, the scene shifts to a quiet moment inside the cafe where a dinner set of akazuke is presented. A comforting dish made by pouring green tea over rice and toppings. The sight of the steaming bowl immediately captivates Tsubasa, who exclaims how delicious it looks, her hunger clearly piqued. Meanwhile, a man quietly observes, holding a steaming cup with a calm, almost contemplative expression, as the warm atmosphere of the cafe continues to envelop them all in a sense of peaceful anticipation. At the train station, a lively exchange unfolds as a friend playfully accuses Tsubasa of lying, but she firmly insists she's telling the truth, sparking laughter between them. The lighthearted moment is quickly followed by a shift back to the cafe, where the atmosphere turns gentle and warm. The man in traditional attire, who had overheard their conversation, calmly explains that his own stomach growls just the same when he has a light lunch. His composed demeanor and subtle smile ease the embarrassment of the moment, inviting Tsubasa to relax. With a graceful gesture, he encourages her to enjoy her meal, the quiet kindness in his voice adding to the comforting ambience of the cafe. This simple interaction deepens the sense of connection and tranquility that defines the space, reminding Tsubasa and the readers of the small, shared experiences that make these moments so special. As the day continues, Tsubasa finds herself quietly observing a man who seems to hold a special role at the cafe, wondering if he might be the chef. She recalls having followed him once, intrigued by his presence as he emerges from the kitchen. Turning her attention to the meal before her, she takes a moment to savor the comforting bowl of akazuke. The rich dashi broth delights her palate with its deep, satisfying flavor, while the fresh fish and accompanying stew add layers of warmth and heartiness to the dish. She notices the sweet and crispy pickles on the side, each bite enhancing the experience. Despite her initial intent to focus solely on eating, she realizes this place has a unique hold on her, a feeling that this is truly the only spot where such simple yet profound comfort can be found. As the day winds down, the scene shifts to the quiet interior of the cafe where a man takes a slow sip of his drink, the warmth clearly soothing him. He lets out a contented breath, admitting to himself that this moment makes him feel relaxed. Just then, A gentle voice breaks the silence, asking if the food is to his liking, surprised. He turns to see the woman who prepared the meal, her expression hopeful. He smiles warmly at her, and she responds shyly but sincerely, confirming that the food is very delicious, grateful. He thanks her, and the exchange carries a quiet but meaningful connection, underscoring the simple yet profound comfort found in sharing a well-made meal and a moment of genuine appreciation. Inside the cozy cafe, a man offers a cup of green tea, praising its refreshing and easy-to-drink qualities while kindly inviting the woman to have more if she likes. She smiles softly in response, appreciating the gesture. The man then admits with a slight hesitation that he originally came to the cafe just to study while enjoying some drinks. But he finds himself unable to make any real progress whenever he's there. The woman chuckles gently, teasing whether it's because the food and drinks are just too delicious to resist. This light-hearted exchange captures the subtle charm of the cafe, where the warmth of the atmosphere and the simple pleasures of good tea and company quietly draw them in, blurring the lines between work and relaxation. As the day unfolds, Tsubasa finds herself caught in a playful moment at the train station where a friend teasingly accuses her of lying. But she quickly insists she's telling the truth, sparking laughter between them. Later, back at the cafe, a man in traditional attire approaches her with a calm smile, admitting that he often notices her studying hard whenever she visits. His gentle observation catches her off guard, and she blushes in embarrassment, realizing he's seen her struggles more clearly than she thought. Despite her flustered reaction, he praises her perseverance, acknowledging how impressive it is to see her battling through her challenges. Though initially overwhelmed by his attention, she listens as he continues, his tone shifting to something more serious. He admits that what he's about to say may sound unreasonable, leaving her curious and attentive, setting the stage for a deeper, more meaningful exchange to come. As the scene shifts back to the cafe, the man in traditional attire begins to explain his perspective on the shop itself. He tells her that he sees the cafe not just as a place for full meals, but more like a kind of snack, something you reach for during a break at work. He compares it to having a cup of coffee or some sweets, suggesting that the cafe serves a similar purpose. A small, comforting pause in the day, his thoughtful words catch her attention, making her see the shop in a new light, as a subtle but meaningful refuge amid the busyness of life. As evening settles over the city, the scene shifts to a lively train station where Tsubasa shares a playful moment with a friend. The teasing escalates as her companion accuses her of lying, but she insists she's telling the truth, sparking laughter that lightens the mood. Later, back in the calm of the cafe, the man in traditional attire approaches her with a knowing smile, confessing that he often notices her dedication whenever she studies there. His gentle praise catches her off guard, making her blush as she realizes how much he's observed. He then explains his perspective on the cafe, comparing it to a comforting snack rather than a full meal, something like sweets, coffee, or tea that no one truly needs to survive, but that offers a welcome relief during a busy day. He speaks of the cafe as a place to soak up the atmosphere and relax, suggesting that this kind of small, soothing pause is the true ideal of the shop, a sweet refuge amid life's demands. His thoughtful words leave a warm impression, inviting Tsubasa to see the cafe not just as a place to eat, but as a gentle sanctuary for the soul. At the bustling train station, Tsubasa finds herself caught in a light-hearted exchange with a friend who playfully accuses her of lying. She insists she's telling the truth, sparking laughter that fills the air between them. Later, back at the cafe, the man in traditional attire lets out a weary sigh, admitting that his study isn't progressing well. He chuckles, calling his own conclusion a sweeping generalization, then explains that the cafe itself feels more like a snack than a full meal, something comforting but not substantial enough to fuel serious work. This realization makes him reflect on why his efforts have stalled. As he contemplates this, Tsubasa watches thoughtfully, sensing there's more beneath his words, and the quiet moment lingers with unspoken understanding. As the day winds down, the scene shifts back to the cafe where the man in traditional attire reflects on how the simple thought of coming here after work gives him enough energy to push through the day. He explains that this small comfort, like a snack or a brief pause, even motivates him during exercise and helps him stay focused on learning properly. The quiet moments spent enjoying the cafe's atmosphere leave him feeling more energized in his daily life, inspiring him to work harder. Meanwhile, at the bustling train station, Tsubasa shares a playful exchange with a friend who teasingly accuses her of lying. She insists she's telling the truth, and their laughter fills the air, capturing the lightheartedness of their friendship amid the city's rush. Together, these moments highlight how small joys and connections, whether a comforting cafe visit or a shared joke, can quietly fuel perseverance and brighten everyday life. As the cityscape fades into the evening, Tsubasa shares a lively moment at the train station with a friend who playfully accuses her of lying. She insists she's telling the truth, and their laughter rings out, capturing the warmth of their friendship amid the bustling crowd. Later, back at the cafe, the man in traditional attire reveals a surprising confession. He's given up on studying. His friends react with shock, but he quickly clarifies that he's not quitting entirely, he's simply changing his approach. He explains that while he'll study hard when it's time to focus, he also values the importance of relaxation, reflecting on how he's always noticed Tsubasa's quiet struggle balancing coffee breaks and study sessions. He admits he's been cheering her on in his heart all along. This honest exchange highlights the delicate balance between effort and rest, reminding them both that perseverance doesn't mean pushing oneself to the brink, but finding a sustainable rhythm. At the train station, Tsubasa finds herself caught in a playful moment with a friend who teasingly accuses her of lying. She insists she's telling the truth, her earnestness sparking laughter between them and lightening the busy atmosphere around them. Later, back at the cafe, she surprises everyone by announcing that she's decided to forget about all her worries and simply relax. Her confident smile and carefree attitude signal a refreshing change in her mindset. The two men in traditional attire watch her with warm smiles, expressing their sincere hope to see her again anytime. Their welcoming words underscore the cafe's role as a comforting haven, a place where Tsubasa can always return to find peace and encouragement whenever she needs it. As the city hums with evening life, Tsubasa shares a playful moment on the train with a friend who teasingly accuses her of lying. She insists she's telling the truth, and their laughter breaks through the rush of the crowd, capturing a light-hearted connection amid the busy station. Later, the scene shifts to a quieter moment where a woman named Izumi walks alone down a narrow alley beneath the starry sky. She scrolls through her phone as she talks, responding with a tired but gentle voice that she's fine despite the concern in the other person's words. When invited to lunch on Sunday, she acknowledges the plan with a soft smile, admitting that it's good to relax occasionally. This quiet exchange hints at a deeper weariness beneath her calm exterior, suggesting that even amidst the city's bustle, moments of rest and connection remain essential. As night falls, Izumi walks alone through a quiet alley, her footsteps echoing softly beneath the starry sky. She answers a call with a tired but gentle voice, assuring the other person that she's fine despite their concern. When invited to lunch on Sunday, she agrees with a soft smile, acknowledging the need to relax sometimes. This brief but meaningful exchange reveals a glimpse of her weariness beneath the calm exterior, reminding us that even in the midst of a busy life, moments of rest and connection remain vital. As night deepens, Izumi arrives at a quiet, traditional-style house and is greeted warmly by the others inside. The atmosphere is calm and inviting, a stark contrast to the bustling city streets she had just walked through. As she settles in, one of the men calls everyone to dinner, breaking the peaceful silence with a friendly invitation to eat together. Izumi apologizes softly for any trouble she might have caused, but the group's easy camaraderie quickly puts her at ease. With a gentle smile, one of the men wonders aloud about the kind of customers they might welcome the next day, hinting at the ongoing rhythm of their lives and the small moments of connection that keep them going. Outside, the night sky stretches over the traditional house, serene and full of quiet promise, as the story gently shifts toward the possibilities tomorrow might bring. Izumi arrives at a traditional house, greeted warmly as she steps inside from the quiet night outside. The calm atmosphere contrasts sharply with the city's earlier bustle, offering a peaceful refuge. As she settles in, one of the men calls everyone to dinner, inviting them to share a meal together. Izumi quietly apologizes for any trouble she might have caused, but the easy camaraderie of the group quickly puts her at ease. Outside, the man sweeps the grounds, pausing to show a delicate flower petal in his hand. With a gentle smile, he remarks that it's spring, a subtle reminder of renewal and the quiet beauty found in these small moments. The scene closes on this serene note, the promise of new beginnings quietly blooming alongside the changing season. As the day unfolds, the atmosphere inside the traditional cafe shifts gently with the changing season. One of the men notices the cherry blossoms beginning to bloom, surprised that he hadn't realized it sooner. Another remarks on the recent warmer weather, predicting that the sakura might burst into full bloom all at once. They agree to take a walk later to enjoy the flowers, their conversation filled with quiet anticipation. Meanwhile, a third man, stretching with a groan, looks forward to the lush greenery that spring will soon bring. Their easy camaraderie and shared appreciation for nature's subtle changes reflect a peaceful rhythm of life, where even small moments like the arrival of spring carry a sense of renewal and hope. Inside the cafe, a strange noise draws the attention of a few men, who look up in concern and curiosity. They realize it's coming from the kitchen, where Tsubaki is struggling to come up with ideas for the new spring menu, frustrated. She holds her head in her hands, groaning as she debates between cake, cookies, and traditional Japanese sweets, none of which seem quite right. The men exchange knowing glances, quietly acknowledging the pressure she's under to create something fresh and appealing. One of them wonders if this creative block is for the new desserts, while another comments on how tough it must be for Tsubaki to find the perfect inspiration for spring. The scene captures the quiet tension behind the scenes, where the effort to bring joy through food is met with the challenge of innovation and the weight of expectations. As the conversation turns to the changing season, the men reflect on the arrival of spring and the many symbols it brings beyond just the iconic cherry blossoms. One points out the Japanese bush warbler, a songbird native to the region, as another emblem of spring that often goes unnoticed. They acknowledge how spring inspires countless sweets themed around Sakura. Yet the challenge lies in creating something truly original. Despite Tsubaki's reputation as the king of foodies, the pressure to innovate weighs heavily on him, leaving him creatively blocked. The group teases him gently about his gluttonous tendencies, recalling his wild cake buffet adventure, while Tsubaki protests that he can hear their comments. This light-hearted exchange reveals the tension behind the scenes as they strive to craft new delights that capture the essence of spring, blending tradition with fresh inspiration. Tsubaki sits with a weary expression, admitting to his friends that he's really struggling to come up with ideas for the spring menu, despite the pressure. He insists he's doing it all for the store, though his friends tease him lightly, apologizing with playful smiles. One of them recalls how popular Sway's green tea was with the dessert platter last year, sparking a conversation about their previous spring menu. They remember starting the planning around this time last year, when they introduced a Sakura dessert platter that captured the season's essence perfectly. The group's lighthearted banter and shared memories highlight the challenge of creating something fresh while honoring tradition, as Tsubaki wrestles with the creative block that comes with the weight of expectations. As the group gathers, Azumi arrives quietly, greeted warmly by a familiar voice inviting him to join a walk on Sunday. The night air is calm and peaceful, a stark contrast to the city's earlier rush, and Azumi takes a moment to relax, appreciating the quiet solitude. Inside, the conversation turns to the spring menu, with Sway thoughtfully considering the current offerings. He admits that while the platter is popular, especially among the ladies, it no longer feels fresh or impactful. He expresses a desire to change things up this year, seeking something more memorable. Others chime in, sharing their preferences and concerns. Some customers don't enjoy Sakura-flavored sweets, and one friend confesses a personal preference for Kashiwa Mochi over Sakura Mochi. The discussion reveals the pressure they all feel to innovate while still honoring tradition, leaving Sway feeling even more stressed about finding the perfect balance for the season's new treats. As the evening settles in, Azumi arrives quietly at the traditional tea house, greeted warmly by familiar faces. One of them invites him to join a walk on Sunday. Recalling a plan they had mentioned before, Azumi, appreciating the calm night air, takes a moment to relax, feeling the peaceful solitude away from the city's rush. Inside, the group gathers in their customary attire, and the conversation quickly turns serious. One of them, determined to break through their creative block, announces a new plan. Everyone will be given homework. Each person is tasked with coming up with a suggestion for the spring menu, whether a fully developed idea or just a simple concept. Since the next day is their day off, they'll have ample time to think it over. The group exchanges looks, some surprised, some thoughtful, but all understanding the importance of this challenge. They agree to meet the following evening to discuss their proposals, hoping this collective effort will spark the fresh inspiration they need to create something memorable for the season. As the night deepens, Azumi arrives quietly at the traditional tea house, greeted warmly by familiar faces. One of them reminds him of a plan they had mentioned before, a walk together on Sunday, and invites him to join. Azumi, appreciating the calm night air, takes a moment to relax, feeling the peaceful solitude away from the city's earlier rush. Inside, the group gathers in their customary attire, and the conversation quickly turns serious. Sway expresses the need to break through their creative block for the spring menu, emphasizing how many customers eagerly await something new. Determined to find fresh inspiration, he announces a new plan. Everyone will be given homework to come up with a suggestion for the spring menu, whether a fully developed idea or just a simple concept. Since the next day is their day off, they'll have ample time to think it over. The group exchanges looks, some surprised, some thoughtful, but all understand the importance of this challenge. They agree to meet the following evening to discuss their proposals, hoping this collective effort will spark the fresh ideas they need to create something memorable for the season. Suddenly, the clock strikes 10 a.m., signaling the shop's opening time, and the team springs into action. With a burst of energy, they prepare the space, wiping tables, reheating water, and opening the door, ready to welcome their first customers and put their plans into motion. As dawn breaks, the next day begins with Azumi waking up groggy but determined. The quiet morning light fills his room as he sits up, still shaking off sleep, downstairs. A familiar voice greets him with a simple good morning, setting a calm, steady tone for the day ahead. This peaceful start contrasts with the creative tension from the night before, hinting at the challenges and inspirations that await as they prepare to tackle the spring menu together. The morning unfolds quietly as Azumi wakes up groggy, still feeling the weight of last night's creative challenge. The soft light fills the room while a familiar voice greets him warmly, noting his slow start to the day. Azumi admits he was up late reading, but since it's a day off, he decides to take it easy. Their calm exchange is interrupted by talk of their friends. Tokataka is busy teaching pottery today, while Gyur has already set off with high spirits, determined to find a fresh idea that will surprise Tsubaki. The mood is light but hopeful, as everyone quietly prepares to tackle the creative block from different angles, each bringing their own energy and plans to the table. As the morning unfolds, the group gathers quietly, each reflecting on the challenge ahead. One of them remarks on the old saying that 3 heads are better than 1, sparking a lighthearted debate about teamwork and the real meaning behind the proverb. Despite some playful skepticism about Gyur's contributions, the mood remains hopeful. Suddenly, a loud sneeze breaks the moment, drawing attention to a man walking through the bustling streets. He smirks, amused by the idea that someone might be gossiping about him, acknowledging with a wry smile that being popular has its downsides. This brief, lively scene contrasts with the earlier calm, hinting at the different energies each character brings to the table as they prepare to face the creative hurdles of the day. As the day unfolds, one of the group reflects on the undeniable connection between spring and Sakura, wondering if it's really necessary to include cherry blossoms in everything. He questions whether the tradition of incorporating Sakura into seasonal treats and drinks is truly special or just expected. Walking through a bustling market, he observes Sakura-themed goods everywhere, from scones sprinkled with salted petals to latte art featuring delicate blossoms. Despite his doubts, he admits that these touches do remind people that spring has arrived. He even considers adding Sakura petals to his own creations, whether by drawing them on a latte or sprinkling petals on top, searching for a way to balance tradition with fresh inspiration as they all strive to overcome their creative block. As the day progresses, one of the group finds himself wandering through the lively market, eyeing the abundance of Sakura-themed treats and goods that flood the stalls. He pauses thoughtfully, holding a small, decorative ceramic bird, considering the challenge of creating something truly fresh for the spring menu. Despite the temptation to lean on familiar seasonal motifs like cherry blossoms, he wonders if relying on such traditions might be too predictable. Determined to push past the creative block, he decides to seek out a quiet place for deeper reflection, knowing that inspiration might strike in solitude. With a confident nod, he sets off with purpose, ready to explore new ideas and bring something unexpected to the table. The morning unfolds with a gentle exchange as one of the group greets another with a warm good morning. Noticing how slowly he's starting the day, he admits to staying up late reading but decides to take it easy since it's a day off. Their conversation turns to their friends. Tokataka is busy teaching pottery, while Gyur has already set off, eager to surprise Tsubaki with fresh ideas. The mood is light and hopeful, each quietly preparing to face their creative challenges in their own way. Later, the scene shifts to Tokataka at the pottery wheel, struggling but enjoying the process despite the difficulty of controlling it. Around him, others share laughter and encouragement, admitting their own early attempts looked strange, but the joy of creating something with their own hands shines through. This moment of camaraderie and determination underscores their shared journey to find inspiration and bring something new to their spring menu. As the day continues, Tokataka finds himself surrounded by grateful students at his pottery class, their faces lighting up with pride as they show off their progress. Despite his humble demeanor, it's clear that his dedication and patience have made a real impact. The atmosphere is warm and lively, with laughter and compliments filling the room. After the session, Tokataka offers a special treat, a sable cookie infused with sesame and pumpkin flavors. The students eagerly savor the unique taste and crunchy texture, praising his skill and creativity. This moment of shared joy and appreciation highlights the quiet strength of Tokataka's influence, reminding everyone that inspiration often comes from nurturing others and embracing the simple pleasures of craftsmanship. As the morning settles in, a gentle greeting breaks the quiet as one of the group wishes another good morning. Noticing he's taking the day slowly after a late night of reading, they share a light conversation about their friends. Tokataka is busy teaching pottery, while Gyur has already dashed off, eager to surprise Tsubaki with fresh ideas. The atmosphere is relaxed and hopeful, each preparing to face their creative challenges in their own way. Meanwhile, Tokataka is at the pottery wheel, struggling but enjoying the process, surrounded by laughter and encouragement from others who recall their own early clumsy attempts. The joy of creating something with their own hands shines through, underscoring their shared journey toward inspiration. After class, Tokataka's students proudly show their progress, their faces bright with accomplishment. To celebrate, he offers them a special treat, a sable cookie infused with sesame and pumpkin flavors, which they eagerly savor, praising his creativity. This warm moment highlights the quiet strength of Tokataka's influence, reminding everyone that inspiration often comes from nurturing others and embracing simple pleasures of craftsmanship. The morning begins with a warm exchange as one of the group greets another. Noticing he's taking it slow after a late night spent reading, they chat lightly about their friends. Tokataka is busy teaching pottery, while Gyur has already dashed off, eager to surprise Tsubaki with fresh ideas. The relaxed atmosphere hints at the quiet determination each carries to face their creative challenges. As they talk, the conversation turns to Tokataka's pottery class, where his students are making steady progress under his patient guidance. The joy of crafting something with their own hands fills the room, and Tokataka celebrates their efforts by sharing a special sesame and pumpkin sable cookie, which the students eagerly enjoy. Meanwhile, Gyur's enthusiasm is clear as he mentions rushing out in high spirits after deciding to surprise Tsubaki, showing the spark of inspiration beginning to take hold. This moment of camaraderie and gentle encouragement underscores the shared journey of these friends, each finding their own way to embrace the season's promise and overcome their creative blocks. The scene opens with a quiet cafe bathed in soft morning light, where a man with sharp, narrow eyes and glasses sits alone, calmly sipping his coffee. His composed demeanor contrasts with the gentle bustle around him. As a waitress approaches to clear the table nearby, he politely allows her to do so without breaking his serene focus. Meanwhile, two women chat quietly at a neighboring table, their conversation a soft backdrop to the peaceful atmosphere. This moment of calm hints at a deeper story unfolding beneath the surface, as the man's thoughtful expression suggests he's preparing himself for something important. The cafe's tranquil setting serves as a subtle stage for the connections and challenges that lie ahead, weaving a quiet tension into the otherwise ordinary morning. At a cozy cafe, the atmosphere hums with quiet chatter and the clinking of cups. One man, calm and composed, sips his coffee thoughtfully, his sharp eyes scanning the room as if preparing for the day ahead. Nearby, a waitress moves about her duties, while two women share a soft conversation, their voices blending into the peaceful morning. The man's serene presence contrasts with the gentle bustle, hinting at the deeper currents of connection and creativity stirring beneath the surface. As the morning unfolds, the scene sets the stage for the intertwined journeys of friends, each seeking inspiration in their own way, ready to face the challenges and surprises that the day will bring. As the day unfolds, a lively group gathers in a cozy cafe, buzzing with excitement about an upcoming Hanami viewing party. One of them, surprised but thrilled, confirms they can attend, sparking cheerful chatter about organizing the event and deciding who will take charge of various responsibilities. The atmosphere is light and full of anticipation, with everyone eager to reconnect and enjoy the seasonal tradition together. Among the group, a quieter figure reflects on how long it's been since they've joined such a gathering, hinting at a deeper appreciation for these moments of friendship and celebration. The scene captures the warmth of shared plans and the joy of looking forward to new memories under the blooming cherry blossoms. The morning unfolds with a gentle ease as the group gathers, exchanging warm greetings and light conversation. One of them, still a bit tired from a late night spent reading, is encouraged to take it slow on this day off. They chat about their friends. Tokataka is busy teaching pottery, while Gyur has dashed off in high spirits, eager to surprise Tsubaki with fresh ideas. The mood is relaxed, with everyone appreciating the chance to rest and recharge. As they sip their drinks, the conversation turns to the upcoming Hanami viewing party, sparking excitement and plans for the gathering. Amid the cheerful chatter, a quieter figure reflects on the season, feeling inspiration stirring just beneath the surface. With a thoughtful smile, he orders another slice of cake, savoring the moment and the promise that spring brings. Outside, the peaceful scenery of a traditional veranda and garden sets a serene backdrop, echoing the calm anticipation of new beginnings and creative sparks waiting to bloom. As the morning light filters softly through the room, Tsubaki sits at his desk, thoughtfully scrolling through his computer. He muses over the signs of spring: sakura blossoms, wild vegetables, bush warblers, and the traditional Hanami gatherings. Yet inspiration still eludes him. His cat, Kanako, lounges nearby, embodying a serene ease that Tsubaki envies. With a gentle smile, he asks Kanako if she has any ideas to share. But the cat simply stretches and basks in the calm, reminding him of the quiet moments of relaxation that sometimes spark creativity. This peaceful scene captures the delicate balance between rest and the search for inspiration, as Tsubaki quietly prepares to embrace the season's subtle gifts. As the morning light filters through the room, Tsubaki relaxes with his cat Kanako nestled beside him. He playfully asks if he should follow her example of calm and ease, watching as she stretches and bounces with a lively energy that reminds him of Machi. Amused, he strokes her soft fur, noting how spring's gentle spirit seems to infuse even the smallest moments with life. His thoughts turn to traditional Japanese sweets, imagining how desserts and dango that capture the essence of spring in a tea house setting would be perfect. He envisions colorful dango in shades of pink and green, though he worries they might end up looking like the usual tricolor treats. Still, the quiet garden outside and the peaceful atmosphere inspire him, hinting that creativity might soon bloom alongside the season's blossoms. As the day stretches on, Tsubaki finds himself battling a creeping drowsiness, the peaceful presence of his cat Kanako making it impossible to resist the urge to nap. He watches her sleep so comfortably that he too feels the pull of sleepiness, struggling to stay focused, yet determined not to give in. He gently asks Kanako for help, hoping the quiet companionship might spark an idea. The cat's serene contentment seems to offer a small comfort as Tsubaki quietly seeks inspiration, the calm of the room wrapping around them both like a soft embrace. Seeking a quiet place to gather his thoughts, Gyur finds himself inside a duck boat gliding gently across a serene pond. The calm and solitude of this unusual spot offer him the perfect environment to focus and engage in some serious thinking, away from the bustle of daily life, surrounded by the peaceful water and the soft rustle of nature. He embraces this moment of tranquility, ready to let his mind wander and explore new ideas in the stillness of the duck boat. Gyur settles into a quiet moment aboard a duck boat drifting gently across a serene pond, embracing the calm to focus his thoughts. He reflects on the simplicity of spring and decides to return to basics, convinced that the best ideas come from straightforward, orthodox methods. With renewed determination, he zeroes in on a classic spring theme, Sakura Machi. Excited by this inspiration, he pulls out his phone and eagerly begins researching how to make this traditional sweet, ready to dive into the creative process with fresh energy and a clear goal in mind. Suddenly, Gyur's calm moment on the duck boat is shattered by a startling message on his phone. His eyes widen in disbelief as he reads the news, the gravity of the situation sinking in immediately, without hesitation. He grips the steering wheel tighter, determination flashing across his face. Realizing the urgency, he resolves to inform Tsubaki as soon as possible, knowing that swift action is crucial. The peaceful day takes a sharp turn as Gyur speeds off, the serene pond fading behind him, replaced by the pressing need to deliver this critical information. Suddenly bursting through the entrance, a breathless Gyur calls out urgently for Tsubaki, shouting that he has big news. His hurried arrival contrasts sharply with the calm atmosphere inside, where Tsubaki and Tokataka sit quietly, seemingly unbothered. Gyur's intense energy fills the room as he tries to catch his breath. While Tsubaki and Tokataka exchange a glance, their composed demeanor hinting that they were expecting something significant. Despite the tension, the welcoming words from Tokataka and the others create a momentary calm, but the urgency in Gyur's voice makes it clear that whatever news he brings will soon shift the peaceful mood into something far more pressing. As the group settles back together, one of them asks if anyone has come up with good ideas yet, but the response is that all three have just returned, still fresh from their separate moments of reflection. The mood is light at first, with casual greetings and comments about taking it easy on this day off. However, the atmosphere shifts when one of them suddenly bursts out, demanding to know what the big news is that's been mentioned. The tension rises as the others brace themselves, and the man delivering the news urges everyone to listen calmly despite the shock it might bring. Then, with a serious expression, he reveals the surprising discovery. There are actually two kinds of Sakura Machi. This unexpected revelation promises to change their approach and adds a new layer of excitement and urgency to their creative process. The room fills with surprise as the revelation sinks in. There are actually two distinct types of Sakura Machi, each with its own unique shape and style. One is known as Demuji, while the other is Chimeji, and this difference sparks a lively discussion among the group. One man, clearly frustrated, scolds another for not knowing such a fundamental fact despite working in a Japanese-style sweets shop, emphasizing how long he's been in the business and how important this knowledge is. The tension breaks as apologies are exchanged, but the point is made. There's more to Sakuramachi than they initially thought. It turns out that the Chimeji style is popular in the Kanto region, which explains why only that type has been made before. This new insight challenges their previous assumptions and opens up fresh possibilities for their creative process, promising to deepen their understanding and inspire new ideas as they move forward with their project. As the morning unfolds, the group gathers in a relaxed atmosphere, exchanging greetings and reflecting on their day off. One of them mentions that Tokataka is busy teaching pottery today, while another shares how Gyur had rushed out earlier, full of energy after his own moment of inspiration. The conversation shifts to ideas for spring-themed sweets, with suggestions ranging from soft, bouncy treats like mochi to incorporating various spring-related motifs. One member even offers a small gift. As an apology, lightening the mood, they agree that their project doesn't necessarily need to be Sakura-flavored, but should capture the essence of spring from multiple perspectives. The discussion grows more collaborative as they consider including chopstick holders adorned with Sakura designs, aiming to express the season's spirit in diverse and creative ways. This renewed sense of teamwork and fresh ideas sets the stage for their next steps, blending tradition with innovation to celebrate spring in all its forms. As the morning unfolds, the group settles into a relaxed rhythm, exchanging greetings and reflecting on their day off. One mentions that Tokataka is busy teaching pottery today, while another recalls how Gyur had rushed out earlier, energized by his own burst of inspiration. The conversation naturally shifts to ideas for spring-themed sweets, with suggestions ranging from soft, bouncy treats like mochi to incorporating various seasonal motifs. When the topic of bento boxes comes up, excitement sparks among them, with one enthusiastically calling Tokataka a genius for the suggestion. The group appreciates how his ideas go beyond simply buying something pre-made, inspiring them to think more creatively, energized by this fresh perspective. One member confidently announces that he has a great idea, setting the stage for their next step in blending tradition and innovation to capture the essence of spring in their project. The group's conversation takes a delightful turn as they discover a Makinuchi-style sweets bento, beautifully arranged and perfect for enjoying in-store. The sight of this elegant box filled with a variety of spring sweets instantly captures their attention. One of them marvels at the assortment, noting the presence of sakura mochi, sable, and even cake, highlighting the impressive variety packed into the bento. The enthusiasm grows as another points out that you can even swap out the traditional hanami dango for any other dango you prefer, adding a customizable touch to the experience. The group agrees that just looking at the sweets makes them feel like they're already tasting the delicious flavors, sparking fresh inspiration and excitement for their own creative project. As the group explores their options for spring-themed treats, they come across a beautifully arranged Makinuchi-style sweets bento, filled with an enticing variety of delicacies. The assortment includes sakura mochi, sable, and even cake, all elegantly packed to capture the essence of the season. One member excitedly points out the flexibility of the bento, noting that the traditional hanami dango can be swapped out for any preferred type, adding a personalized touch to the experience. They also discover 3 different types of wrapping paper to choose from, each adorned with delicate seasonal patterns, enhancing the presentation. Deciding to enjoy the bento outdoors, they opt to take 2 sets with drinks to the park, eager to savor the flavors in a relaxed setting. Just then, a cheerful server arrives with a steaming pork cutlet rice set, its aroma filling the air and drawing appreciative comments. The group admires the charming chopstick holder that accompanies the meal, further inspiring their creative ideas. This moment of shared enjoyment and thoughtful presentation deepens their appreciation for the blend of tradition and innovation, fueling their enthusiasm as they continue to develop their own spring-themed project. As the group continues their brainstorming, the atmosphere is filled with a sense of excitement and possibility. One of them remarks on how the assortment of sweets somehow perfectly captures the feeling that spring has arrived. This sparks a new idea. Creating a Makinuchi-style sweets bento, they imagine combining spring-themed treats with some of their shop's popular items, envisioning a beautifully arranged takeaway set that customers would surely appreciate. The idea quickly gains traction, with everyone agreeing it sounds promising and well-received. As they gather around the table, sketching out plans and discussing details, the collaborative energy grows stronger, setting the stage for their next creative venture to celebrate the season in a fresh, inviting way. As the group wraps up their lively discussion about spring-themed sweets and creative bento ideas, their excitement culminates in a clear vision for the season's menu. They agree that even a modest feast can bring a special feeling when enjoyed outdoors, especially in the park during lunch hour where even those who don't drink alcohol can join in the fun. Plans are made to invite office ladies to sample the sweets, and preparations will include coffee for takeout, ensuring a complete and inviting experience. With a sense of accomplishment, they finalize their brainstorming session, confidently announcing that this year's spring menu will be spring sweets in a bento, perfectly capturing the spirit of the season in a fresh and delightful way. After the busy lunch rush finally dies down, the team reflects on the success of their spring-themed bento. The customers seem to really enjoy the new offering, with many choosing to eat in-store, which was a pleasant surprise. As they clean up, one member admits that Gyor, true to form, contributed some less-than-stellar ideas along the way, prompting a lighthearted groan. Despite that, everyone agrees they were fortunate to have landed on a solid concept that resonated well with their patrons. The atmosphere is a mix of relief and quiet pride as they acknowledge the positive reception and look forward to building on this momentum for future projects. As the day winds down, one of the team members breaks the quiet with a cheerful greeting, asking if anyone has plans for the evening. The question hangs in the air, met with a chorus of indifferent responses. No one seems to have anything special lined up. Sensing the mood, the same person leans in with a knowing smile, teasing them about having forgotten something important. The others exchange puzzled looks, unsure of what he means. With a playful tone, he hints at a shared event or plan that slipped their minds, sparking a mix of curiosity and mild embarrassment. The moment is lighthearted, underscoring the camaraderie among the group as they prepare to wrap up their day together. As the day winds down, the group suddenly remembers a plan they had almost forgotten. An early hanami viewing to celebrate the cherry blossoms. One of them enthusiastically suggests going for the ohanami, noting that they missed out on it last year. Despite some hesitation about the suddenness of the idea, the excitement quickly builds when it's revealed that the drinks, food, and picnic blanket are all ready to go. With a confident smile, the organizer assures everyone that all that's left are 4 sets of their carefully crafted Makunuchi sweets bento. The invitation is clear and inviting. It's time to head out and enjoy the blossoms together, turning their spring-themed creations into a shared moment of joy under the blooming trees. The group eagerly agrees to prepare additional food for their upcoming hanami picnic, their spirits lifted by the promise of a fun evening together. One of them enthusiastically suggests drinking a lot that night, sparking cheers all around as they rally to put in extra effort for the event. The mood is light and full of anticipation. Suddenly, someone holds up the picnic blanket, proudly announcing it's ready for use. However, the cheerful moment is met with a quick, sharp correction. Someone insists on changing the blanket, hinting at a playful disagreement or a desire for something more fitting. Despite this, the team's excitement remains palpable as they finalize their plans, ready to enjoy the cherry blossoms with good food, drinks, and the warmth of friendship. As the day unfolds, the atmosphere shifts to a quieter, more relaxed scene inside a traditional setting. A server approaches with a carefully prepared ohanami set, presenting it with a polite "thank you for waiting." The recipient responds with genuine appreciation, their gratitude filling the room. Nearby, another staff member cheerfully introduces the shiratama matcha parfait, adding a touch of sweetness to the occasion. The welcoming ambience is underscored by the gentle murmur of other guests, enjoying their time, creating a warm and inviting backdrop. This moment captures the essence of the season's celebration, blending thoughtful service with the simple pleasure of savoring seasonal treats in good company. One morning, an elderly man named Ida-san arrives at the tea shop, greeting everyone warmly. Sui is informed of his presence and is asked to attend to customers first before speaking with him. When they finally sit down together, Ida-san reveals he has something important to discuss. The news hits hard. He and his wife are getting older, and as a result, he is planning to shut down the tea shop. The group reacts with shock and regret, understanding the weight of this decision and feeling the sadness of an era coming to an end. Ida-san arrives at the tea shop with a warm greeting, but the mood quickly shifts as he reveals a heavy truth. After much thought and discussion with his wife, they've decided it's time to close the shop. Business has been steadily declining, and with no one to inherit the tea shop, the end feels inevitable. He explains how modern convenience has changed people's habits. Bottled tea and cheap supermarket leaves have replaced the tradition of visiting specialty stores. Though he feels sorry for the loyal customers like Rokuhudu, he accepts that fewer people know how to properly use a teapot these days. The group listens in quiet understanding, feeling the weight of an era quietly slipping away, marked by the gentle clink of a teacup in a fading tradition. Ida-san arrives at the tea shop with his usual warm greeting, but the atmosphere quickly turns somber as he reveals the difficult news. He and his wife have decided to close the shop, The steady decline in business and the lack of an heir to carry on the tradition have made this decision inevitable. Despite the sadness, the group listens with quiet respect. Understanding the weight of this moment, Tsubaki steps forward, expressing heartfelt gratitude for everything Ita-san has done. Acknowledging how much Rokuhudu and its customers have relied on his exceptional teas since the days of their grandfather. Ita-san humbly accepts the thanks, touched by the appreciation. As the conversation continues, one of the group wonders if there are any other tea shops with tea as good as Ita-san's. Knowing it will be hard to find a worthy replacement, the scene closes on this bittersweet note, marking the end of an era but also the lasting impact of Ita-san's legacy. As the conversation with Ita-san lingers heavily in the air, he suddenly mentions another old tea shop, one he knows well. The group listens intently, but their curiosity quickly turns to alarm when Ita-san hints that this shop is notorious for being difficult. The tension spikes as they realize exactly which place he means, their expressions shifting to shock and disbelief. The name alone carries a weighty reputation, making everyone uneasy. Just then, the mood is interrupted by the arrival of new customers, pulling the group back to the present. Ita-san politely excuses himself, apologizing for taking up their time, and warmly welcomes the guests inside. As he leaves, the group exchanges worried glances, the mention of that infamous tea shop hanging heavily over them. The scene closes with Ita-san bidding them farewell, promising to call soon, leaving the future uncertain but charged with the weight of this unexpected revelation. As the group absorbs Ita-san's mention of the other tea shop's notorious reputation, tension rises sharply. One of them can't hold back, demanding to know exactly what he means by notorious. The atmosphere thickens with unease as they imagine the worst. Sui tries to clarify, explaining that his earlier comment was just a casual remark made before the customers arrived. Yet, the others can't help but let their imaginations run wild, picturing scenarios where the rival shop might threaten customers into buying outrageously expensive teas or even engage in illegal activities like trading firearms or something far darker. Sui shakes his head, admitting that thanks to those wild thoughts, he found it hard to concentrate on his work. The group shares a moment of uneasy laughter, realizing their fears might be exaggerated. But the shadow of that infamous tea shop still lingers heavily in their minds. As the group presses Ita-san for more details about the other tea shop he mentioned, the tension rises. He admits that the rival shop has been in the tea business for generations and wields considerable influence and power. This revelation sparks wild speculation among the group, imagining everything from mysterious deaths of family members to secret hidden rooms beneath the store. They picture a fierce dispute over the family fortune following the grandfather's sudden death, fueling rumors of dark secrets and danger. However, Ita-san quickly deflates their dramatic theories, assuring them that the situation is far less sinister than they imagine. He simply describes the place as a shop that's a little troublesome. Nothing more, despite his calm explanation. The group's imaginations have already run wild, leaving an uneasy feeling lingering in the air as they try to reconcile the rumors with Ita-san's downplayed words. As the group continues to mull over the rumors surrounding the rival tea shop, they dive into the strange and eerie stories they've heard. Tales of kettles flying mysteriously through the air, shattered fragments scattered on the floor, and customers being tied down by ropes swirl around their conversation. Some even mention a strange voice echoing from the back of the shop, adding to the unsettling aura. Despite all these wild rumors, no one seems to recall anything about the quality of the teas themselves. When asked about the name of this infamous place, the answer is surprisingly vague. No one can quite remember, with a playful yet exasperated smile. One of them admits he'll have to ask Ita-san again next time, leaving the mystery hanging in the air as they share a light-hearted moment amid the tension. As the group contemplates the future without Ita-san's tea, one of them quietly hopes to find another tea shop with equally good tea. Yet, the reality sinks in. They must secure a new supplier before Ita-san's stock runs dry. The weight of this necessity hangs over them as they acknowledge the challenge ahead, knowing how difficult it will be to replace the legacy and quality they've come to cherish. As the group grapples with the challenge of finding a new tea supplier that can match the quality and harmony with their food and sweets, the weight of the task becomes clear. It's not going to be easy. Just then, one of them confidently offers to step in with his coffee, promising to come to the rescue if needed. His bold declaration draws a mix of surprise and amusement, especially from Tsubaki, who reacts with a sharp look. Meanwhile, the others prepare to head out. But before they leave, a familiar voice greets them warmly. Ita-san appears, welcoming new customers and inviting the group inside. As they enter, the atmosphere shifts back to the present, with the promise of new beginnings and the lingering uncertainty of what lies ahead. Just as the group is about to leave, a familiar voice calls out, and Ita-san warmly welcomes new customers inside. As the curtain parts, Tsubaki notices someone lingering outside and steps forward to investigate. To his surprise, a young girl in a nearby junior high school uniform suddenly appears, startled by his presence. The unexpected encounter hints at a new connection or story about to unfold, bringing a fresh energy to the tea shop's quiet atmosphere. Just as the group is about to leave, a familiar voice invites them inside, and Ida-san warmly welcomes new customers. Tsubaki notices someone lingering outside and steps forward to check. To his surprise, a young girl in a junior high school uniform appears, clearly startled by his presence, trying to ease the tension. He offers her to come inside, asking if she's alone. Flustered, she nervously insists she's just one person, though her reactions suggest otherwise. With a gentle smile, he leads her inside, remarking that it's rare to see junior high kids coming alone. While she struggles to keep up the act, the unexpected encounter hints at a new story about to unfold within the tea shop's quiet walls, bringing a fresh energy and mystery to the scene. Inside the quiet tea shop, a young girl sits alone, her eyes fixed on the menu as she struggles to decide what to order. Her indecision stretching on for nearly half an hour, observing her hesitation. The staff exchange knowing glances, silently noting how long she's been pondering. Finally, breaking the stillness, a gentle voice apologizes for the and presents her with a carefully prepared tray. A matcha warabi mochi paired with a mini and mitsu set. The delicate arrangement promises a comforting moment, hinting at the start of a new chapter in this peaceful, traditional setting. Inside the quiet tea shop, the young girl who had been silently struggling to decide what to order finally receives a gentle apology from the staff, accompanied by a carefully prepared tray featuring matcha warabi mochi and a mini and mitsu set. As the delicate sweets are presented, she clasps her hands in gratitude, clearly touched by the kindness. Encouraged, she takes a bite, savoring the flavors with a mix of surprise and delight. Watching her reaction, one of the men asks if something is wrong, but she quickly brushes it off with a shy smile, hiding the warmth and comfort the tea and sweets have brought her. This tender moment marks the beginning of a new chapter within the tea shop's peaceful walls, hinting at the quiet connections and stories yet to unfold. As the young girl quietly savors her tea, the staff can't help but notice how expressive her face is, revealing her thoughts without a word. One of them remarks that she's the kind of person whose feelings are easy to read just by looking at her, and seeing her satisfaction brings a genuine warmth to their hearts. The girl takes a careful sip, her eyes closing briefly as she enjoys the comforting warmth, while the staff watch her with gentle smiles, feeling a quiet happiness in this simple, shared moment. As the young girl takes a careful sip of her tea, her expression suddenly shifts, catching everyone off guard. The staff exchange surprised glances, wondering what could have caused such an unexpected reaction. Instead of the warmth and comfort they anticipated, her face falls into a deeper disappointment, leaving them puzzled and concerned. The quiet tea shop, once filled with gentle smiles and hopeful beginnings, now holds a new tension as they watch her struggle with her feelings, unsure of what this moment truly means for her or the story unfolding within these walls. As the young girl quietly sips the tea, the staff watch her closely, puzzled by the unusual expression crossing her face. None of them have ever seen anyone react quite like this after drinking Sway's tea. They exchange worried glances, trying to decipher what she's feeling, but her expression remains inscrutable. One suggests that perhaps, being a child, she simply isn't used to drinking so much tea. The others nod thoughtfully, considering this possibility. Meanwhile, the girl quietly places a 1,000 yen note on the tray, thanking them before the scene gently fades, leaving the tea shop filled with a mix of curiosity and quiet concern about what this moment might mean for her and the story just beginning to unfold. As the young girl continues to quietly enjoy her tea and sweets, a sudden shift in her expression catches everyone off guard. When asked if the food wasn't to her liking, she quickly stammers a denial, insisting it's delicious but struggling to explain further. She nervously fidgets with her wallet before finally admitting that it's the tea itself, the green tea, that's troubling her. This unexpected confession leaves the staff concerned, as the gentle atmosphere of the tea shop momentarily gives way to an uneasy tension. The girl's hesitation and discomfort hint at a deeper story behind her visit, setting the stage for new revelations to come within the quiet walls of the tea shop. Just as the quiet tension lingers in the tea shop, a familiar presence arrives. Ida-san, the elderly man known to the staff, greeting everyone warmly. He mentions he has something important to discuss, immediately catching their attention. The conversation quickly turns serious when Ida-san reveals that his shop is shutting down, a piece of news that shocks those present. Meanwhile, back inside the tea shop, the atmosphere lightens as Tsubaki greets the morning with a smile, teasing Gyur about Taking it slow after staying up late reading, their casual banter about the day's plans brings a sense of normalcy and camaraderie. Then, a delicate moment unfolds when the young woman behind the counter offers a special tea blend, one she recognizes instantly as coming from Ita-san's shop. She explains it's a carefully crafted blend called Gyokusui and Meisui, made exclusively by him. Her words carry a quiet reverence. And as she speaks, Gyor's expression shifts dramatically, the weight of the news settling in. This revelation ties the threads of the day together, hinting at deeper connections and the bittersweet reality of change within their close-knit world. As the scene unfolds, the young girl nervously tries to grasp the complexity of the tea she's been served, her surprise evident when she realizes the subtlety involved in distinguishing the varieties just by taste. Before she can fully process this, the two men behind the counter greet her warmly, their cheerful welcome catching her off guard and causing her to stumble and fall in a flurry of flustered apologies. Their concern is immediate, rushing to help her up as she struggles to compose herself, overwhelmed by the unexpected attention and the intricate world of tea she's just stepped into. This moment of awkward introduction not only highlights her innocence but also sets the stage for deeper connections and the unfolding story that will explore the delicate art and emotions tied to the tea and those who cherish it. Just as the young girl tries to express her gratitude, she suddenly bolts out of the tea shop, leaving the staff startled. The two men exchange puzzled looks, with one joking that she must have thought he was a foreigner, while the other suspects that Gyor might have scared her off. Tsubaki steps out to investigate the commotion, only to find the girl already gone. Inside, the mood shifts as Sui reveals the surprising reason behind the uproar. The girl had correctly guessed the specific tea leaf varieties they were using just by tasting the tea. This unexpected insight leaves everyone stunned, highlighting her keen sensitivity and hinting at a deeper connection to the delicate world of tea. The revelation that the young girl is not just a casual tea drinker but a true connoisseur leaves everyone in awe. Both Gyor and Tsubaki exchange impressed glances, amazed by her ability to identify the specific tea leaf varieties just by taste. This unexpected insight deepens the mystery surrounding her and her connection to the world of tea. However, the moment takes a sudden turn when she abruptly flees the tea shop, leaving the staff bewildered. Gyor and Tsubaki joke nervously about what might have scared her off, with one blaming Gyor himself for the awkward encounter. Despite the mishap, Gyor smiles knowingly, expressing a quiet confidence that she will return soon, driven by her genuine passion and curiosity for tea. The scene closes on this hopeful note, hinting at the unfolding story that will explore the girl's journey and the bonds formed through their shared love of tea. 3 days have passed since the young girl last visited the tea shop, and her absence weighs heavily on the staff behind the counter. The atmosphere is quieter, tinged with a sense of waiting and uncertainty. Gyor reassures everyone with a calm confidence, insisting that she will return, driven by her genuine passion for tea. Meanwhile, Tsubaki prepares to step out, trusting Gyor's optimism as he heads off briefly, leaving the tea shop in a momentary stillness. The lingering question of why the girl disappeared remains unanswered, but the hope that her journey with tea, and with them, is far from over hangs gently in the air. As the day begins, Gyor prepares to leave the tea shop, assuring everyone he'll be back by evening. The concern is palpable as the others remind him to be cautious and run if he senses danger. Once he's gone, the mood shifts to worry, especially over the uncertainty of his return. Thoughts swirl around the risks involved. Even though they manage to get the address of the tea shop from Ita-san, the question lingers. Is it really wise to let Sui go there alone? Determined to keep things safe, plans are made for Tsubaki and Gyor to check out the shop on their way back from a Hokkaido food exhibition. The weight of the situation presses down, hinting at an unseen threat looming over their journey and the fragile connections they forged. Just as the quiet settles in, Ita-san arrives with a warm greeting, his gentle smile masking the weight of the news he carries. He reveals that the tea shop is shutting down, a shock that ripples through the room. The gravity of the situation hangs heavy, especially as the others absorb the reality of losing a place so dear to them. Amidst this, Tokataka steps in with a hesitant request, asking if someone could bring back the item the young girl left behind during her sudden departure. The girl clutches the object tightly, her expression a mix of worry and hope, underscoring the fragile yet growing bond between them. This moment marks a turning point, blending the sadness of loss with the promise of connection. As they prepare to face the uncertain days ahead together, Ita-san arrives at the tea shop with a warm greeting, immediately catching everyone's attention. He reveals that the shop is closing down, a piece of news that hits the group hard. The atmosphere grows heavy with disappointment as they absorb the reality of losing such a cherished place. Amidst this somber moment, Tokataka gently steps forward with a request to return an item the young girl had left behind during her sudden departure. When the pouch is handed back to her, the girl is overwhelmed with gratitude and apology, her emotions spilling over as she admits how rude it was to guess the tea varieties without permission. Gyur and Tsubaki watch quietly, their expressions softening as the girl bows repeatedly, thankful for their kindness. This heartfelt exchange marks a poignant turning point, blending the sadness of the shop's closure with a renewed sense of connection and hope for what lies ahead. The young girl reveals that her deep knowledge of tea comes from her grandparents, who are the true experts. She's been drinking tea since she was young, often visiting tea plantations with her grandfather and attending weekly tea tasting parties where she even tries blending tea leaves herself. This family passion explains her surprising expertise and the seriousness with which she approaches tea. As she opens up, the others realize just how much her background has shaped her refined palate. The girl's earlier frown while drinking tea now makes sense, hinting at the high standards she's accustomed to. Gyur and Tsubaki quietly acknowledge the dedication behind her skills, impressed by the strong tea tradition running in her family. The young girl is caught off guard when told she really enjoyed the tea, her surprise evident as she questions if she truly said that. Despite her initial hesitation, she admits the tea was delicious, though she struggles with the thought of it. Suddenly, a phone rings, interrupting the moment, and the others quickly step away to answer it. Taking advantage of the pause, the girl apologizes for taking up so much time and prepares to leave. Before she can go, one of the men gently insists on seeing her home, showing a protective kindness that underscores the growing care between them. This quiet yet meaningful exchange leaves the scene on a note of warmth and concern, hinting at the deepening connections forged through their shared experiences with tea. As evening approaches, Gyur gently warns the young girl that it's dangerous to walk alone at this hour. Though she hesitates, he insists on escorting her, showing a protective kindness that deepens their bond. She admits it might be inconvenient for him, but he assures her it's no trouble since he's heading out anyway. As they walk together, he asks where she lives, and she shyly reveals her home is next to a McDonald's in the neighboring town, at a shop called Amagamiya. Their quiet conversation under the night sky carries a warmth that contrasts the earlier tension, hinting at a growing connection amid uncertain times. As the young girl and Gyur arrive at the tea shop, a surprising encounter unfolds. Gyur recognizes her as the granddaughter of the very tea shop he had planned to visit, a coincidence that catches them both off guard. Standing before the traditional storefront, Gyur admires its rich history, while the girl reveals the bittersweet truth that her grandparents have been running the shop for many years, but business has been steadily declining. This revelation casts a shadow over the cherished place, deepening the sense of loss that has been building. Despite the somber news, the moment is filled with quiet respect and understanding, as the girl's connection to the tea shop and its legacy becomes clear, setting the stage for the challenges and bonds that lie ahead. As the young girl and Gyur step into the tea shop, the atmosphere shifts unexpectedly. Despite the rumors, the place doesn't seem as intimidating as they feared. The girl cheerfully announces their arrival to her grandfather, but the calm is shattered when an angry shout echoes through the room. Their grandfather bursts out in frustration, declaring that he quits, his voice filled with raw emotion. The girl and Gyur are stunned by his sudden outburst, realizing the depth of his despair over the shop struggles. This explosive moment reveals just how heavy the burden has become for the family, underscoring the challenges threatening the tea shop's future. Just as the young girl and Gyur settle into the tea shop, an unexpected tension fills the air. The girl's grandfather suddenly bursts out in frustration, declaring he's quitting and will no longer sell any tea. The shock ripples through the room, leaving everyone stunned by the weight of his decision. The girl, caught off guard, asks her grandmother what's going on. Desperate to understand why the shop is closing so abruptly, her grandmother gently explains that one of their regular customers mentioned they could get tea cheaper by using tea bags, and as a result, the demand for their traditional loose-leaf tea has plummeted. This harsh reality hits hard, revealing the deep struggles the family faces in keeping their cherished tea shop alive. The scene closes on this somber note, highlighting the harsh challenges threatening the legacy and future of the shop they've all come to care about. The atmosphere inside the tea shop quickly turns chaotic as the grandfather erupts in anger, vehemently rejecting the idea that his tea could be replaced by tea bags. His outburst is so intense that he even flips over the low table in frustration. The grandmother tries to calm the situation with a lighthearted comment, but it's clear he's still deeply upset. Watching this, Gyur comes to a sudden realization. This fierce old man must be the source of the intimidating rumors they'd heard. He guesses that the grandfather's brusque behavior likely extends to how he treats his customers as well. As the tension settles slightly, Gyur cautiously asks if the shop is really closing down. The girl's grandmother confirms that business has been steadily declining, and with their advancing age, it's becoming harder to keep the shop running. The weight of this truth hangs heavily in the air, underscoring the harsh reality threatening the future of the beloved tea shop. Just as hope flickers for the tea shop's future, the grandfather's frustration boils over. He firmly tells the girl, Katsuru, that not everyone today knows how to truly appreciate tea like she does. His conviction is clear. If he has to serve his tea half-heartedly just to attract more customers, he'd rather have no one drink it at all. The old man declares that the era of tea drinking is over, a bitter admission that stings deeply. When Katsuru pleads for ways to bring in more customers, he responds with fierce resolve, shouting that if the shop is forced to fall behind the times, then he'll take his tea to the grave with him. His passionate outburst leaves everyone stunned, underscoring the painful clash between tradition and modernity threatening the tea shop's survival. Just as the tension in the tea shop reaches its peak, a calm yet firm voice cuts through the chaos. Tsubaki steps forward, holding a package of tea leaves and asking if he may have it, implying he wants to take the tea off their hands. The grandfather immediately reacts with shock and anger, glaring at Tsubaki and shouting that he won't allow some half-baked fool who doesn't even understand tea to have it. Katsuru, caught off guard, calls out to him in surprise. The old man's fierce protectiveness over the tea and its tradition is clear, refusing to let anyone treat it lightly. Even if he's decided not to sell it anymore, Tsubaki, however, remains composed, calmly stating that if that's the case, then he'll be troubled, hinting at his deeper intentions and respect for the tea's legacy. This confrontation highlights the stubborn clash between preserving tradition and the inevitable changes looming over the tea shop's future. Determined to save the tea shop, Tsubaki steps forward with a clear purpose. He explains that he wants to buy their tea in bulk, but first, he needs to earn their trust. The grandfather immediately bristles, insisting that his tea isn't cheap and declaring that he's already decided to quit selling it. Despite the old man's stubborn refusal, Tsubaki remains calm and confident, hinting that he's not here to take the tea lightly. He carefully states that while he hasn't yet decided if their tea is truly suitable, if it meets his standards, he might consider serving it in his own shop. This unexpected proposition causes the grandfather to pause, his fierce resistance wavering as he processes Tsubaki's words. The tension lingers, but a glimmer of hope emerges that tradition and respect for quality might yet find a way forward. Tsubaki calmly meets the grandfather's fierce glare and asks if he really thinks the tea isn't worthy of the glasses he's wearing. The old man, shocked and angry, demands to know who Tsubaki thinks he is, but Tsubaki remains composed, suggesting they might have a match. He proposes to use their tea for just one day, inviting them to decide together whether the tea is suitable for his shop. This unexpected offer hints at a possible bridge between tradition and change, as Tsubaki seeks to earn their trust and preserve the legacy of the tea rather than dismiss it outright. Tsubaki calmly lays out his proposal. He wants to put their tea to the test for just one day, offering a fair challenge where either side could win. If the grandfather approves, it would be a victory for the tea shop, but if not, Tsubaki would decide whether to use their tea at all. This bold suggestion shocks the old man, who slams his hand down in anger, calling it an insolent idea. Yet, despite the grandfather's fierce reaction, Katsuru can't help but smile brightly, her hope rekindled by the possibility that her grandfather might continue running the tea shop after all. She playfully chides him for still showing up despite his harsh words, while he grumbles about shutting her up for looking too pleased. The tension between stubborn tradition and the chance for renewal hangs in the air, setting the stage for a pivotal moment that could determine the future of the beloved tea shop. As the tension in the tea shop simmers, Katsuru tries to lighten the mood by pointing out to her grandfather that the interior still looks almost the same as before, hoping to remind him of the shop's charm. The old man grumbles but can't deny the familiar atmosphere. At that moment, Tsubaki steps forward with a confident smile, addressing both Katsuru and her grandfather. He asks for a moment of their time, politely but firmly stating that it's an honor to be in their shop today. The grandfather, still wary but intrigued, challenges Tsubaki to prove himself, demanding to see what he's made of. With a tray in hand, Tsubaki prepares to demonstrate his intentions, signaling a pivotal moment where respect for tradition and the possibility of renewal might finally meet. The stage is set for a test that could decide the tea shop's fate, as Tsubaki takes the first step toward bridging the gap between old and new. To accompany the tea tasting, Katsuru excitedly presents a delicate green tea chiffon cake, freshly made by their pâtissier as a special prototype for the day. Despite her usual hesitation around sweets, she eagerly takes a bite, her eyes lighting up with surprise and delight. The grandfather watches with a skeptical frown, admitting he's never been fond of sweet treats, but the warm atmosphere and the thoughtful pairing of the tea with the cake hint at a new chapter for the tea shop, one that blends tradition with a touch of innovation and care. Katsuru eagerly urges her grandfather to try the green tea chiffon cake, insisting he taste it despite his initial refusal and preference for just the tea. Reluctantly, he takes a bite, and his eyes widen in surprise as he recognizes the familiar tea leaves infused within the cake. The bitterness of the tea subtly enhances the flavor, blending perfectly with the dessert's sweetness. The grandfather's stern expression softens as he acknowledges the strong tea fragrance and the delicious balance achieved by grinding the tea leaves into the cake. This moment of unexpected delight hints at a renewed appreciation for their tea and the possibility of blending tradition with a fresh approach, breathing new life into the tea shop's future. Katsuru gently suggests that if her grandfather tries the green tea chiffon cake alongside a cup of his own tea, it might change his perspective. She smiles warmly, holding the steaming cup close as she encourages him to share the experience with her. The comforting aroma and the thought of enjoying the cake and tea together bring a soft glow to her face. Watching her, the grandfather's stern expression begins to soften, touched by the sincerity and hope in her gesture. This quiet moment hints at the possibility of healing old wounds and embracing a future where tradition and new ideas can coexist. As the tea shop buzzes with quiet anticipation, the staff bring out the carefully prepared tea and a delicate green tea chiffon cake, which immediately draws warm compliments from the customers. The grandfather watches silently, his expression unreadable as he takes the steaming cup in his weathered hands. Slowly, he brings it to his lips, savoring the aroma and taste with a contemplative gaze. The gentle steam rises, mingling with the soft light filtering through the windows, creating a moment of calm reflection. Outside, the peaceful surroundings hint at a new beginning, as the old man quietly contemplates the future of the tea shop, caught between the weight of tradition and the promise of renewal. As the tension thickens in the tea shop, a sudden shift occurs when a group of men in traditional attire, including Tsubaki, step forward, their presence commanding attention. The grandfather's stern gaze sharpens, clearly unsettled by their arrival. The air crackles with unspoken challenge as the men silently surround the table, their serious expressions signaling that something important is about to unfold. Katsuru, caught between hope and worry, watches anxiously as her grandfather's rigid demeanor intensifies. Without hesitation, the eldest man among them calls out to Tsubaki, addressing him as Glass's boss, a sign of respect and recognition. The grandfather's fierce glare meets Tsubaki's calm but resolute eyes, hinting at a brewing confrontation or test. Katsuru, sensing the gravity of the moment, nervously reaches out, whispering to her grandfather, her concern evident. This charged encounter sets the stage for a decisive moment that could determine the future of the tea shop, where tradition, loyalty, and the promise of change collide in a silent but powerful standoff. The tension in the tea shop shifts as an older man steps forward, his gaze sharp and probing as he asks Tsubaki if he is the grandson of Kinosuke-san. Taken aback, Tsubaki confirms, surprised that this man knows his grandfather. The elder explains that he had visited the tea shop long ago during a time when he was uncertain about taking over the business himself. He recalls how the warmth of Kinosuke-san's tea had comforted him and given him the gentle encouragement he needed. Now, seeing Tsubaki, he feels that the tea served here carries that same soothing quality, bridging past and present. This revelation softens the atmosphere, hinting at a deeper connection between the generations and a shared respect for the legacy of the tea shop. The tension in the tea shop rises sharply as the elderly man suddenly demands to know who the pâtissier is. Turning his sharp gaze on Tsubaki, caught off guard, Tsubaki admits it's him, prompting the older man to angrily question why he ground the precious tea leaves into powder. Tsubaki explains, nervously but sincerely, that he did so because the tea leaves have a wonderful aroma, and he believed grinding them would better suit the chiffon cake than using matcha powder. He adds that this method would make the cake easier for children to enjoy as well. The grandfather's stern expression lingers as he listens, but he advises Tsubaki to reduce the amount of tea used slightly. This exchange reveals the delicate balance between preserving tradition and embracing new ideas, with Tsubaki's thoughtful approach showing respect for the tea's essence while seeking to innovate. The moment underscores the ongoing challenge of honoring the past while nurturing the tea shop's future. After the tense discussion about the tea and the pâtissier's innovative approach, the atmosphere begins to shift. The elderly man, who had been stern and critical, suddenly acknowledges the effort with a nod of approval. He admits that despite his reservations, the tea shop has done well under this new direction. With a surprising burst of emotion, he declares that he hates to admit it, but this is a great shop. His words carry weight, signaling a hard-earned respect for the blend of tradition and fresh ideas. The grandfather then encourages the team, telling them they've won this round and that it's ultimately their choice whether to use his tea or not. This moment of acceptance and encouragement brings a sense of relief and hope, as the old man's gruff exterior softens to reveal pride and support for the future of the tea shop. With a calm yet confident smile, Tsubaki admits that the moment he stepped into the tea shop, he had already lost. He acknowledges that while he may have spoken harshly before, he recognized early on that the tea here is truly superb, but more than just the quality of the tea. It's the atmosphere of the store, the unwavering dedication to the craft, and the spirit behind it all that have won him over. The elderly man and Katsuru listen intently, their expressions softening as Tsubaki's words bridge the gap between tradition and innovation. This heartfelt admission marks a turning point, where respect and understanding replace rivalry, hinting at a hopeful future for the tea shop built on mutual appreciation and shared passion. After witnessing Katsuru's genuine passion for tea, the young man acknowledges how clear her love for the craft truly is. Moved by this sincerity, he respectfully asks the elderly man if they might have the honor of using his tea. With a deep bow, he expresses his heartfelt request, bridging the gap between tradition and new beginnings. This moment of mutual respect and understanding promises a hopeful future where the legacy of the tea and the dedication of the new generation can coexist and flourish together. After the heartfelt exchange and the old man's reluctant acceptance of the new approach, a quiet moment settles over the tea shop. The elderly man, with a gentle yet resolute smile, reflects inwardly, admitting that once again he feels his back has been pushed, challenged in a way that stirs growth and change. He contemplates how deeply they had all been at a loss over the future of the tea shop. Yet now, with this newfound understanding and respect bridging generations, there is a sense of hope and renewed purpose. The scene closes with the tea shop bathed in soft light, symbolizing the dawning of a new chapter where tradition and innovation walk hand in hand. As the tea shop settles into a calm morning, the team reflects on the recent resolution with the tea supplier, relieved that the issue was solved without major setbacks. Among them, Katsuru's quiet determination stands out. She reveals her wish to inherit the shop someday. Though she's still unsure if she's ready for such a responsibility, her genuine love for tea is clear to everyone, inspiring confidence in those around her. The men exchange knowing smiles, acknowledging that while the tea shop remains a challenging place to manage, its future looks promising with Katsuru at the helm. They express hope that the business will thrive once again under her care, trusting that the legacy of the tea and the spirit of the shop will continue to flourish. The elderly man, though stern, reminds everyone that there's no room for compromise when it comes to the quality of their tea, warning that if the shop ever lets that slip, he'll refuse to sell them his tea again. His fierce dedication pushes the team to promise even harder work ahead, despite the pressure. There's a comforting warmth in his resolve that soothes the tension. As customers arrive, the shop bursts to life with a welcoming energy, the staff greeting them with smiles and enthusiasm. It turns out this isn't the first time the elderly man has come by recently. He's been checking on the shop's parfait quality multiple times this week. In the end, Amagami-san, once hesitant, has blossomed into a late bloomer with a newfound sweet tooth, showing how the shop's spirit and dedication continue to inspire growth and joy in unexpected ways. As dawn breaks, the quiet serenity of the morning is gently disturbed by the soft ringing of an alarm. A man stirs awake in a traditional room, tenderly soothing a sleepy cat named Kanako back to rest before rising himself. Downstairs, the kitchen comes to life with warm greetings exchanged between familiar faces, setting a calm yet purposeful tone for the day ahead. The peaceful start hints at the steady rhythm of daily life continuing, grounded in simple moments of care and camaraderie among those who share this space. As the morning begins, the team gathers in the kitchen, surprised to find Tsubaki still asleep while the rest are already up and about. The usual quiet of this early hour is replaced by a lively energy, especially from Tokataka and Gyur, who seem unusually perky. Greeting everyone warmly, Tsubaki joins in the upbeat mood, admitting he was excited enough to wake before the alarm. Sensing the special atmosphere, he asks if today holds particular significance. With a shared sense of purpose, the group rallies together, ready to dive into the day's work with enthusiasm, their spirits high as they prepare to get started. Ida-san arrives at the tea shop with a warm greeting, immediately catching the attention of the staff. The atmosphere shifts as he reveals he has something important to discuss, prompting surprise and concern among the team. Ida-san shares that the tea shop is facing closure, a revelation that hits everyone hard. Kunisuke-san, overhearing the news, connects the dots when he learns that Ita-san is the grandfather of the young man who once visited the shop long ago. He recalls how that tea had a soothing quality that helped him through difficult times, and how the current tea reminds him of that same gentle flavor. Meanwhile, Katsuru faces a harsh reality when Ida-san sternly insists that not everyone appreciates tea the way she does, bluntly declaring that the era of tea drinking is over when she tries to defend her passion. He challenges her to prove her dedication by drinking the tea herself, warning that if she fails, he will take his tea elsewhere, even to the grave if necessary. The tension is palpable, but Katsuru's resolve shines through despite the pressure. As the conversation unfolds, the team reflects on the challenges ahead, knowing that preserving the tea shop's legacy will require more than just passion. It demands unwavering commitment. Yet, amid the uncertainty, there's a flicker of hope sparked by the memories of the tea's comforting power and the bonds that tie the generations together. The scene shifts to a quiet, traditional tea house where a warm welcome fills the air as two young women enter, calling out cheerfully. Inside, one of them carefully eats a bowl of steaming mochi soup, savoring the mild sweetness that seems to seep warmth into her chilled body. Her companion watches with gentle concern, reminding her to eat slowly and chew properly to avoid choking. Despite a brief coughing fit, the girl insists she's fine, her cheeks flushed from the comforting taste. This tender moment captures the simple joys and care shared within the tea house, a stark contrast to the earlier tension, hinting at the enduring warmth and connection that the place still holds. The tea house feels unusually quiet today, a stark contrast to its usual lively atmosphere. Yet, one of the staff members, carrying a tray with steaming cups, suggests that perhaps today isn't the typical day for a visit. Though another quickly counters, insisting it's the perfect day for zensai, a sweet red bean dessert. Encouraged by this, a customer eagerly asks for another bowl, and the kitchen staff promptly prepares it, maintaining the calm rhythm of the day despite the subdued crowd. This moment of quiet service carries a gentle warmth, hinting at the comforting familiarity the tea house offers even on its slower days. As the tea house settles into a quieter day, the staff take note that most customers are regulars rather than walk-ins, a subtle shift that brings a calm familiarity to the space. Sway, busy in the kitchen, expresses gratitude for the steady support while preparing meals and drinks with care. Kunosuk-san, ever observant, suggests that he handle the distribution of a special item, showing his thoughtful leadership. Meanwhile, Gyor's unusually cheerful mood lifts the spirits of those around him, sparking lighthearted comments about his energy. Behind the counter, he reveals he's been practicing new latte art, eager to impress whenever a customer finally orders one. The team exchanges smiles, sensing the hopeful energy beneath the day's calm, as they continue their work with quiet dedication and a shared sense of purpose. As the day unfolds in the tea shop, Gyor's enthusiasm for his latte art is met with a gentle but firm reminder from a colleague, who warns that sooner or later, a customer will complain if he doesn't give up on his ambitious designs. Despite the caution, Gyor remains confident that his new art will be a hit. The staff quickly spring into action as customers arrive, with the team hustling to greet and serve them. Among the patrons, a group of women settle in, ready to place their orders, choosing a latte and a Japanese sweets set to enjoy. The lively yet warm atmosphere inside the tea shop contrasts with the earlier tensions, showing that even amid uncertainty, the place still draws people together, offering comfort and connection through its familiar offerings. As the tea shop buzzes with its usual quiet charm, a new presence catches the attention of a group of young women settling in for a treat. They eagerly place their orders, requesting Japanese sweets, matcha, and a hot coffee, along with a special latte crafted by Gyor. When the tall, composed waiter steps forward to take their order, his striking blue eyes and dignified demeanor spark whispered curiosity among the women, who wonder if he might be half Japanese, watching him prepare the coffee. With practiced skill, they are captivated by the rich aroma filling the air, sensing the promise of something exceptional. This moment of quiet admiration highlights the subtle allure and warmth that the tea shop continues to offer, weaving new connections and stories into its enduring atmosphere. As the tea shop continues its steady rhythm, a waiter approaches a group of women with a special offering. Gyor's latest creation, a latte featuring his ambitious new latte art. The women eagerly lean in, curious and excited, as the steaming cup is set before them. At first glance, the design seems puzzling, but then one of the women exclaims in delight, recognizing the intricate image. To their surprise, the latte art depicts a gorilla, sparking a mix of amazement and playful debate among the group. While some see the gorilla clearly, others argue it looks more like a human figure, highlighting the unique and somewhat abstract nature of Gyor's artistic attempt. Despite the confusion, the moment brings laughter and warmth, showcasing the tea shop's charm in weaving unexpected joy and connection through even the smallest details. As the lunch service winds down, a group of elderly customers expresses their heartfelt gratitude, praising the delicious meals they've enjoyed. Their warm smiles and cheerful chatter fill the air as they request the bill, clearly satisfied by the comforting food and atmosphere. Tokataka, ever attentive, thanks them for their continued patronage, his calm demeanor reflecting the respect he holds for these regular guests. The mood lightens further when he playfully promises to teach them how to make his special Asazuki pickles next time, a gesture that brings laughter and excitement among the group. It's clear that Tokataka's popularity with the older crowd is well-earned, and as he prepares to share something special with everyone, the tea house feels alive with a sense of community and shared joy, weaving yet another memorable moment into its enduring story. As the day unfolds, a familiar figure arrives at the tea shop. Ita-san, the elderly man with his signature flat cap, greeting everyone warmly. His presence brings a sense of comfort and continuity to the space. Soon, a thoughtful conversation begins as Kunisuk-san reveals that he once visited Ita-san's grandfather, recalling how the elder's tea had a soothing quality that helped him through a difficult time. This connection deepens the appreciation for the tea and the legacy behind it. Meanwhile, Katsuru watches the exchange with a mix of curiosity and respect, reminded of the deep roots the tea shop holds for many. The mood shifts gently as Ita-san announces a special surprise for the customers. A gift from Rokuhudu. He presents beautifully wrapped cookies sprinkled with wasanban sugar, crafted by the four of them as a heartfelt gesture. The customers' faces light up with delight, touched by the thoughtful treat prepared especially for Christmas. Kunisuk-san's warm smile reflects the spirit of the season, as the tea shop once again becomes a place where tradition, kindness, and community come together to create moments of genuine joy. As the tea shop fills with the warmth of the season, Ita-san arrives, greeted with familiar smiles and respect. His presence brings a comforting sense of continuity, and soon Kunisuk-san shares a heartfelt memory of visiting Ita-san's grandfather long ago. He recalls how the elder's tea soothed him during a troubled time, and how the tea served here now carries that same gentle spirit. Katsuru listens quietly, moved by the deep connections woven through the tea shop's history. Then Ita-san reveals a special Christmas surprise. Beautifully wrapped cookies dusted with wasanban sugar, made by the four friends as a thoughtful gift for the customers. The patrons are touched by the gesture, their faces lighting up with delight as they admire the cute shapes and savor the sweetness. Though one remarks on how celebrating Christmas might seem un-Japanese, the group laughs together, embracing the joy of giving and receiving. The tea shop buzzes with laughter and warmth as everyone shares. In this simple yet meaningful moment, the spirit of kindness and community shining brightly through the holiday season. As the day winds down at the tea shop, the last customers finally leave, signaling closing time. Tokataka breathes a sigh of relief, noting that the final pack of the special Christmas cookies has been sold out. He reflects on how it was worth waking up early to prepare them, happy that everyone enjoyed the thoughtful gift. Gyor chimes in excitedly, proud that his Santa-themed latte art was also a hit. Though Tokataka jokes about how it was hard to tell it was supposed to be Santa, the friends share a light-hearted moment, satisfied with how the day's efforts brought joy to their customers and wrapped up the holiday season on a warm, cheerful note. Just as the tea shop's cozy Christmas atmosphere settles in, an unexpected visitor bursts through the door. An elderly man dressed unmistakably as Santa Claus. The friends inside are stunned, their surprise quickly turning into a mix of disbelief and excitement. One of them exclaims that no matter how you look at it, it's obviously Santa, while others scramble to process the surreal moment. The sudden appearance of Santa sparks a flurry of reactions, from astonished questions about how to greet him in Greenlandic to joyful declarations that Santa really exists. The tea shop, already brimming with warmth and holiday spirit, now feels even more magical as the legendary figure stands among them, turning an ordinary day into an unforgettable Christmas celebration. Just as the tea shop buzzes with the magical presence of the man dressed as Santa Claus, the staff scramble to accommodate him, quickly fetching an English menu to ease communication. The man, blushing slightly, sheepishly asks if the shop is still open, revealing that he's not the real Santa but someone dressed up for work as a signage holder on the nearby shopping street. The group apologizes for their earlier rudeness, admitting they had genuinely believed the legendary figure had arrived. The man laughs it off, appreciating their warm welcome despite the misunderstanding, and settles in for a moment of rest, adding a lighthearted and human touch to the festive atmosphere that continues to fill the tea shop. As the chill of winter seeps through the streets, a shivering man hesitantly approaches the tea shop, desperate to escape the biting cold. He admits how freezing his whole body feels and wonders if he can take a break inside. The shopkeeper, ever kind, acknowledges how tough it must be standing out there and warmly assures him that anything is fine as long as it's hot. With a relieved smile, the man asks for a cup of drink, and the shopkeeper responds with a gentle smile, welcoming him inside. Yet beneath that calm exterior, a flicker of concern crosses the shopkeeper's face, hinting that this unexpected visitor might bring unforeseen trouble. As the day progresses, the tea shop staff realize with growing concern that they have completely run out of their special Christmas cookies meant for the man dressed as Santa Claus. Only scraps remain from the batch they hurriedly baked together due to time constraints, and even the traditional Japanese sweets have sold out. When asked about the sable cookies Tokataka prepared, the answer is the same, sold out. The group exchanges worried glances, wondering if there's anything left at all to offer their unexpected guest, feeling the pressure of the moment as the festive day nears its close. As the chilly day wears on, the man who sought refuge from the cold at the tea shop expresses his gratitude for the warm drink and rest. The staff kindly check if he needs anything else, but he assures them he's fine and thankful for their hospitality. Meanwhile, Tsubaki and Tokataka exchange a glance, and with a confident grin, Tsubaki declares he has an idea to help with the situation. Telling them to leave it to him, the atmosphere shifts with renewed energy as they prepare to tackle the challenge of making their unexpected guest feel welcome despite the dwindling supplies. This moment of camaraderie and determination hints at a solution brewing, as the friends rally together to ensure their visitor is cared for in the spirit of kindness that has defined their holiday season so far. To help the shivering man feel more comfortable, the staff prepare a warm cup of decaffeinated hojicha latte, explaining its soothing, milk tea-like flavor and gentle warming effect. The man immediately feels the comforting heat spread through him, grateful for the thoughtful drink. Seizing the moment, one of the friends suddenly calls out to him as Santa-san. Catching him off guard, with a smile, they present a small gift, explaining that since it's Christmas, they wanted to offer him a present. The man's surprise melts into appreciation, and the tea shop's warm, festive spirit shines even brighter as this unexpected exchange brings everyone closer together on this special day. Just as the tea shop's warmth and holiday cheer fill the air, the staff surprise their unexpected guest, the man dressed as Santa, with a thoughtful gift. They present him with a beautifully wrapped box of reindeer-shaped cookies, a perfect festive treat. Taken aback, he asks if the present is really for him, and when reassured, his surprise softens into heartfelt gratitude. One of the friends smiles warmly, reminding him that cookies are an essential treat for Santa, making the moment feel even more genuine and special. This simple yet meaningful exchange deepens the sense of connection and kindness that has blossomed throughout the day, wrapping everyone in the true spirit of Christmas. As the man dressed as Santa gratefully accepts the small gift of reindeer-shaped cookies, he laughs warmly and admits that even though he's spending Christmas alone, this thoughtful gesture makes him feel truly happy. The group around him shares a lighthearted moment, with one friend pointing out that they, too, are just a bunch of bachelors spending the holiday together. The mood brightens further when another chimes in, adding that having a cat would make the scene even better, prompting laughter all around. This simple exchange deepens the sense of camaraderie and warmth, wrapping everyone in the genuine spirit of Christmas as the day draws to a close. As the evening settles in, the group gathers around a modest spread of food, admiring the dishes laid out before them. Though it's late and the offerings aren't abundant, the cheerful atmosphere keeps spirits high. One of them directs the others to place some forks nearby, ready to dig in. Amid the casual chatter, a moment of reflection arises when one admits to having been nervous earlier, worried they might not have a gift to give their last customer. Another laughs, recalling how they never imagined assembling the leftover cookies like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle to form a reindeer shape. The clever idea brings a sense of relief and warmth, turning what could have been a disappointing end into a heartfelt gesture. Together, they share this simple but meaningful moment, their camaraderie shining through as the day draws to a close. As the group gathers around the modest feast, light teasing fills the air about the icing skills that saved their reindeer-shaped cookies from being mere scraps. Despite the playful jabs, the mood remains warm and appreciative. One of them notices the champagne among the drinks, sparking a cheerful reaction as they acknowledge it looks like a good choice for the occasion. With a gentle smile, the man in the kimono reflects on the day, expressing gratitude that they managed to give presents to everyone, including their regular customers and the man who came dressed as Santa. As the steam rises from the food laid out before them, the friends wonder if their guests have already enjoyed the cookies, sharing a quiet moment of contentment and hope that their efforts brought joy to those they cared about. As the evening winds down, the group gathers around their modest feast, sharing lighthearted teasing about the icing skills that saved their reindeer-shaped cookies from being mere scraps. Despite the playful banter, the atmosphere remains warm and appreciative. One of them spots the champagne among the drinks and cheers it as a fitting choice for the occasion. The man in the kimono reflects quietly on the day, expressing gratitude that they managed to give presents to everyone. From there, regular customers to the man who came dressed as Santa. As steam rises from the food before them, they wonder if their guests have already enjoyed the cookies. Feeling a quiet sense of contentment, with a gentle smile, he raises his glass and invites everyone to join in a toast, sealing the moment with a heartfelt, Merry Christmas. Outside, snow begins to fall softly, wrapping the tea shop in a peaceful, festive glow that perfectly captures the spirit of the day. In a lively cafe filled with chatting customers, a woman excitedly shows her friend a photo on her phone. Revealing her new boyfriend, the friend reacts with genuine surprise and admiration. Impressed by the news, meanwhile, a man sitting nearby quietly enjoys his slice of cake. But his expression darkens as he mutters to himself that this situation won't work either, hinting at some inner conflict or unresolved tension beneath the cheerful atmosphere. A man named Isego makes a phone call, checking in on the progress of someone tasked with finding a trendy cafe to write about. The person on the other end admits that so far, it's been a lost cause, struggling to find a suitable place, despite the setback. Isego encourages persistence, reminding them that their proposal has just been approved and they can't afford any criticism. The conversation ends with a determined promise to keep working hard, underscoring the pressure to succeed in this new assignment. Isego makes a call to check on the progress of finding a trendy cafe to write about, only to hear that the search has been fruitless so far. Despite the setback, he urges persistence, reminding the person on the other end that their proposal has just been approved and they can't afford any criticism. Meanwhile, the woman on the call remains determined, suggesting that if the cafe idea falls through, they can always report on something else, like a day trip to hot springs or 3-star Italian restaurants. Isego, though still serious about the task, resolves to write something great regardless of his pride. Yet, he admits to himself how unexpectedly difficult it is just to go to a cafe, envying the confidence of the stylish, feminine women he imagines frequenting such places. This mix of determination and self-doubt sets the stage for his next steps in tackling the assignment. Isego finds himself in a tough spot as he tries to fulfill his assignment of finding a trendy cafe to write about. Despite his efforts, the search has been fruitless, and he battles with the idea of stepping into a place where he might be the only man, fearing he'd look out of place or even creepy. His hesitation grows as he imagines the judgment from others, but ultimately, he pushes past his doubts and walks inside alone, surprising those who doubted he'd have the courage to go in by himself. Despite his initial hesitation about stepping into a cafe full of women, Isego surprises everyone by walking in confidently. The moment he enters, all eyes turn to him, yet he remains unfazed as he takes his seat. He orders an astonishing amount of cake, leaving the other patrons stunned. Whispers ripple through the room as they wonder who this man is, captivated by his boldness and the sheer volume of dessert he's about to enjoy. As Isego sits alone outside a trendy cafe, nervously clutching his phone, he suddenly locks eyes with two women waiting nearby. Summoning his courage, he awkwardly asks if he's in line, but quickly panics and dashes away, embarrassed by the encounter. Despite his initial retreat, he berates himself for acting like a loser and vows not to be that kind of person. Meanwhile, inside the cafe, the atmosphere shifts as Isego confidently enters, surprising the patrons with his boldness. Without hesitation, he orders an impressive amount of cake, leaving everyone whispering in astonishment at the man who dared to indulge so freely in a place usually dominated by stylish women. This moment marks a turning point, as Isego pushes past his insecurities to embrace the challenge of his assignment, determined to succeed despite the odds. Isego flips through his notebook, crossing out one cafe after another, frustration mounting as none seem suitable. He mutters to himself that each place is either too crowded with housewives, too noisy, or too expensive, making it impossible for a man like him to feel comfortable. Determined but weary, he trudges through the city streets, reflecting on his simple wish to find a spot where he can enjoy sweets without feeling out of place. With a heavy sigh, he resolves that this last cafe will be his final attempt. If it doesn't work out, he'll have to find a different topic to write about. Despite the challenge, he clings to the hope that maybe, just maybe, this time he'll find a place that fits. Isego continues his search for a trendy cafe to write about, wandering through a lively area where chatter fills the air. Just as he thinks he might have found the right spot, he notices a crowd of elderly people entering the establishment. Surprised, he realizes this place is more of a gathering spot for seniors rather than the fashionable cafe he had in mind. Confused but intrigued, He wonders if this might still be worth exploring, even if it's not the typical trendy location he expected. Isago's search for the perfect trendy cafe takes an unexpected turn when he stumbles upon a place that seems to attract a very different crowd than he anticipated. As he approaches the entrance, a group of rowdy punks also heads inside, surprising him and making him question what kind of establishment this really is. Despite his confusion and the place's reputation for being geared toward women, he decides to give it a shot, stepping inside with cautious curiosity. This moment marks a shift in his journey, as he pushes past his preconceived notions and hesitations, opening himself up to new possibilities in his quest to find a unique spot for his assignment. Isago arrives at a quaint, old-fashioned cafe that immediately strikes him as different from the trendy spots he's been searching for. As he steps inside, a young man in a kimono greets him warmly, guiding him to a cozy corner. The air is filled with the comforting sense of coffee and nostalgia, and the atmosphere feels inviting without any flashy pretenses. Despite its traditional vibe, the place exudes a quiet charm that puts Isago somewhat at ease. When he awkwardly mentions he's alone, the staff doesn't bat an eye, welcoming him without judgment. This unexpected discovery hints at a new direction for Isago's assignment, offering a blend of old-world comfort and genuine hospitality that might just be the perfect story he's been seeking. Isago's eyes light up as he scans the cafe's menu, relieved to find it's not only affordable but also boasts an extensive dessert selection. After days without any sweets, he decides to treat himself to just one, feeling a rare spark of excitement. As he places his order, the staff seem unfazed by the sheer amount he requests, while Isago can't help but notice the absence of the elderly crowd and the punk group he saw earlier entering the cafe. Curiously, he glances around, suddenly realizing that those very groups have mysteriously vanished. His surprise grows as he begins to suspect something unusual is unfolding right before him. Inside the cafe, Isago's eyes widen in surprise as he realizes that the diverse groups he had seen earlier, the elderly patrons, the rowdy punks, and the stylish women, are all gathered together in one lively space. The atmosphere buzzes with warmth and camaraderie as the shopkeepers and customers mingle effortlessly, sharing smiles and compliments. The young man in the kimono moves gracefully among the tables, serving drinks and receiving heartfelt thanks for his efforts. Despite their different backgrounds and appearances, everyone seems connected by a genuine sense of community. Isago notes that the shopkeepers are not only popular but also strikingly handsome, attracting attention from the female customers. Yet, beyond their looks, it's the welcoming spirit of the cafe that truly stands out, hinting that this unexpected place might be the perfect story he's been searching for all along. Inside the cafe, Isago observes a lively and diverse group of patrons enjoying themselves, despite the variety of customers, from cheerful elderly men to a group of rough-looking punks. The atmosphere is warm and inviting, as if everyone simply comes here because they genuinely enjoy the place. The camaraderie and easy smiles shared among the guests and staff create a sense of community that transcends appearances. Feeling a rare sense of relief, Isago acknowledges that this cafe, with its genuine charm and welcoming spirit, might just be the perfect spot he's been searching for all along. Just as he settles in, a polite apology for the catches his attention, and he realizes that this humble, unpretentious store offers something the other trendy places lacked: a true feeling of belonging and comfort. Just as Isago begins to enjoy the peaceful atmosphere of the cafe, a young man in a kimono approaches with a tray, presenting his order: matcha, the seasonal special in mitsu, and a 3-variety dango. Isago's face lights up with excitement as the waiter sets down the desserts, but then a flicker of recognition crosses his mind. He wonders where he knows this young man from, a question that quickly turns into shock when the older man at the table suddenly exclaims. Realizing the waiter is the very same person from before, the waiter, equally startled, reacts with surprise, and the tension in the air thickens as Isago pieces together the connection. This unexpected reunion hints at deeper ties and stories, yet to be uncovered within the quiet walls of the cafe, adding a new layer of intrigue to Isago's visit. Just as Isago tries to explain himself, nervously insisting he was only gathering information for his article and is not a creep, the tension in the cafe rises. His panicked words barely settle before the young man in the kimono calmly responds, revealing he had no idea Isago worked there. The sudden shift in atmosphere softens as Isago apologizes for startling him. Sliding the empty dishes aside, the young man assures him not to worry, while Isago takes responsibility for the earlier commotion, admitting he caused the ruckus. This quiet exchange marks a turning point, hinting at a deeper connection between them and setting the stage for new revelations within the cafe's warm, unassuming walls. As Isago reveals that he works as a journalist for G. Moto, a community magazine. The young man in the kimono confirms his suspicion that Isego is gathering information for a news article. Isego admits this with a hint of nervousness, but the tension quickly eases when the waiter acknowledges the purpose without judgment. The cafe staff and patrons greet Isego warmly, recognizing the magazine and expressing their appreciation. Isego praises the cafe for its wonderful atmosphere and delicious food. Clearly impressed by the genuine charm of the place, the young man promises to show him more next time, hinting at a budding connection and the promise of deeper stories, yet to be uncovered within this inviting shop. As the conversation unfolds, the young man in the kimono comments on Isego's surprisingly large appetite, noting that he thought he loved sweets. Then, with a hint of surprise, he asks why Isego didn't go inside the cafe earlier. Isego hesitates before explaining that the cafe felt like a place mostly for women, and he was hesitant to enter alone. He admits that while there were many cafes he wanted to research for his article, this one stood out but seemed intimidating because of its predominantly female clientele. This exchange reveals a subtle vulnerability in Isego and deepens the connection between the two men, setting the stage for further exploration of the cafe's unique atmosphere and the stories it holds. As Isego reflects on the cafe's atmosphere, he admits to feeling out of place among the predominantly female clientele. He describes the challenge of walking into such a stylish cafe alone, feeling the weight of everyone's curious stares. Yet, despite his nerves, he surprises those around him by confidently ordering and devouring a large amount of cake with remarkable composure. His unexpected behavior catches the attention of the staff and patrons, sparking quiet admiration and playful teasing. This moment reveals a new side of Isego, showing that beneath his initial hesitation lies a genuine appreciation for the cafe and its unique charm, setting the stage for deeper connections and stories to unfold. Isego sits quietly, wrestling with his doubts about the article he's supposed to write. He admits to himself that he lacks the kind of bravery needed to tackle a daring feature. Instead, he contemplates shifting his focus to something more manageable, a new and cutting-edge store or project that challenges him just enough but remains within his reach. Meanwhile, the cafe staff exchange thoughtful glances, acknowledging the difficulty of balancing their efforts despite their best intentions. As the conversation deepens, Isego's hesitation gives way to a sudden spark of inspiration, and with a determined shout, he declares that he's found the perfect idea. This moment marks a turning point, promising fresh energy and new stories to explore beyond the familiar walls of the cafe. Isego, still struggling with his article and unsure about how to approach his cafe feature, finds himself in an unexpected moment of encouragement, when a colleague playfully suggests that Tsubaki should teach him the art of going alone to a cafe. Isego is caught off guard but visibly flustered, despite his protests that he's no expert. The suggestion sparks a glimmer of hope. The group around him quickly warms to the idea, seeing it as a perfect opportunity for Isego to overcome his hesitation and gain confidence. With the promise of a day off tomorrow, the plan to learn from Tsubaki feels like the perfect chance to finally embrace the cafe experience fully. This lighthearted exchange not only brings a smile to Isego's face but also marks a turning point, hinting that he might soon find the courage and inspiration he needs to write his story with newfound enthusiasm. Isego, determined to overcome his hesitation about writing the article, urgently calls out for help, pleading with a mix of desperation and respect. Despite his intense request, the person he's asking reluctantly agrees, though clearly not without some internal resistance, as they walk together. Isego apologizes for dragging the other person into this on their day off, admitting he's been frantically roping them into his plans. The other person brushes off the apology, saying it's nothing and that they're used to this kind of thing, showing a quiet support for Isego's efforts. This moment highlights Isego's growing resolve and the support system he's beginning to rely on as he pushes forward with his project, setting the stage for the next steps in his journey to embrace the cafe culture and write his story with renewed enthusiasm. Isego, still searching for the perfect cafe to feature in his article, is guided by his companion to a place called Haru Cafe. The young man explains that the cafe is famous for its fruit waffles, a popular treat that has drawn in many customers, especially after they introduced cheese French toast to the menu. Observing the scene, Isego notes that the initial rush of patrons has settled down, suggesting there should now be plenty of available seats. With this newfound direction, they prepare to step inside, ready to explore the cafe's offerings and atmosphere in hopes of finding the inspiration Isego needs to complete his story. Arriving at Haru Cafe, Isego is immediately struck by the lively atmosphere and the cafe's popularity, especially among women. Despite feeling a bit out of place, he watches as the staff and patrons enjoy the space, and he quickly finds a seat without any trouble. The cafe's warm and inviting vibe contrasts with his earlier hesitation, and he steels himself to dive deeper into this new experience. As he steps inside, the promise of fresh inspiration and a perfect story begins to take shape, setting the stage for Isego to embrace the cafe culture and finally find the angle he's been searching for. Isego and his companions settle into a bustling cafe, noticeably the only two men among a sea of female patrons, which makes Isego feel a bit out of place. As they scan the menu, Isego nervously debates what to order, torn between the cafe's signature fruit waffles and the cream cheese waffle. Both sounding delicious, despite the tempting options, he hesitates to choose the waffle, thinking it might be odd for an older man like himself to order such a sweet treat. Instead, he opts for a café au lait and a sandwich, prompting surprise from his companion who can't believe he's passing up the waffles. This quiet moment captures Isego's ongoing struggle to fully embrace the cafe culture he's trying to write about, highlighting his cautious steps toward finding comfort and inspiration in this new environment. At the cafe, Isego's companion confidently insists that he must order the waffle, dismissing any hesitation. With unwavering certainty, he declares the fruit and cream cheese waffle the perfect choice. Isego, overwhelmed by the moment, feels a surge of emotion as the dish arrives. Haru Cafe's famous waffle, a symbol of his greatest wish, the beautifully presented treat sparkles invitingly, marking a turning point in Isego's journey to embrace the cafe culture fully and find the inspiration he's been seeking for his article. As Isego finally takes a bite of the famous fruit and cream cheese waffle at Haru Cafe, a wave of fulfillment washes over him. The portions are just as generous as he remembered, and the taste sparks a deep sense of gratitude and joy. This moment, simple yet profound, marks a turning point in his journey. He's not just tasting a dish, but embracing the cafe culture he's been hesitant about. The experience ignites a newfound enthusiasm within him, as if the waffle itself embodies the inspiration he's been searching for to complete his article. As Isego takes his first bite of the dessert, he is immediately captivated by the perfect balance of textures and flavors. The outside is satisfyingly crunchy, while the dough inside remains fluffy and light. The juicy strawberry sauce blends seamlessly with the handmade gelato, creating a harmonious taste that delights his palate, topped with fluffy whipped cream. The dish exceeds all his expectations. Overwhelmed with joy, Isego can't help but declare the experience phenomenal, a moment that marks a deep appreciation for the cafe's craftsmanship and the inspiration he sought for his article. Nearby, another patron watches his reaction with quiet interest, underscoring the significance of this simple yet profound culinary discovery. After hesitating over his choice and worrying if he had overreacted, Isego begins to settle into the cafe atmosphere. He reflects on the fact that everyone spends their time differently in a cafe, and that it's good to be confident in how he chooses to enjoy his visit. His companion reminds him that anyone can eat or drink whatever they like, and that the best way to spend time here is exactly how one wants. This reassurance helps Isego embrace the cafe culture more fully, allowing him to relax and appreciate the moment on his own terms. As Isego sits quietly in the cafe, he begins to realize that despite being one of the few men in the room, no one seems to be paying him any special attention. He reflects on how he had expected more stares or curiosity from the other patrons, but the atmosphere remains comfortably normal. Observing the relaxed conversations and laughter around him, he notices that people are simply enjoying their time without concern for others. His companion points out that when Isego was savoring the waffle, he too was completely absorbed in the moment, indifferent to what was happening around him. This insight helps Isego understand that the cafe culture is less about appearances and more about personal enjoyment, allowing him to finally feel at ease and truly embrace the experience he's been seeking. As Isego steps outside, his phone rings, and a familiar voice asks how his search for a cafe is going. Isego admits he's been struggling to find the right place, feeling lost in the process. His companion, however, urges him to keep trying, reminding him that the success of his proposal depends on it. The conversation takes a surprising turn when Isego learns that his contact is the grandson of Kunisuk-san, a respected figure connected to the cafe culture Isego is trying to understand. Recalling a past visit to the cafe, Isego reflects on the soothing tea that once helped him through a difficult time, and how the tea's warmth reminded him of Kunisuk-san himself. Meanwhile, back at the cafe, Katsuru and others discuss the changing times of tea appreciation, with some lamenting the loss of traditional tea-drinking customs. Despite the resistance, Katsuru remains determined to honor the spirit of tea in her own way. The scene shifts to a lively morning where friends chat about their plans, including pottery lessons and casual days off, highlighting the simple joys of daily life. Later, Isego meets with a confident young man who offers a knowing smile and says, "There you have it," signaling a breakthrough in Isego's journey. The older man processes this moment, realizing that the path to truly embracing the cafe culture and the inspiration he seeks may finally be within reach. Isego finds himself struggling to find the perfect cafe to write about, admitting over the phone that his search has been frustrating and directionless. His contact, urging him to keep at it since the success of his proposal depends on it, reveals himself as the grandson of Kunosuke-san, a respected figure tied deeply to the cafe culture Isego is exploring. This connection sparks a memory in Isego of a past visit where a soothing tea helped him through a difficult time, reminding him of Kunosuke-san's calming presence. Meanwhile, back at the cafe, Katsuru faces resistance from older patrons who lament the fading tradition of tea appreciation. Yet she remains steadfast in honoring the spirit of tea in her own way. The scene shifts to a lively morning where friends chat about pottery lessons and casual days off, highlighting the simple pleasures of daily life. Suddenly, a familiar voice bursts into the cafe, greeting everyone with dramatic flair. The group reacts with surprise and amusement as the newcomer claims their arrival is no mere coincidence but fate drawing them all together in this very cafe. The moment hints that Isego's journey toward embracing the cafe culture and the inspiration he's been seeking may be about to take an unexpected and meaningful turn. As Isego continues his search for the perfect cafe to write about, he finds himself struggling and frustrated, admitting over the phone that he's lost and unsure of where to go next. His contact, revealing himself as the grandson of Kunosuke-san, urges him to keep trying, emphasizing how crucial this is for the success of his proposal. This connection sparks a memory for Isego of a past visit to a cafe where a calming tea helped him through a difficult time, reminding him of Kunosuke-san's gentle presence. Meanwhile, back at the cafe, Katsuru faces criticism from older patrons who lament the fading tradition of tea appreciation, insisting that the era of tea drinking is over. Despite their harsh words and resistance, she remains determined to honor the spirit of tea in her own way. The scene then shifts to a lively morning where friends chat about their plans, including pottery lessons and enjoying a day off, highlighting the simple joys of everyday life. Suddenly, a familiar voice bursts into the cafe with dramatic flair, greeting everyone and claiming that their gathering is no coincidence but fate bringing them together. Isego, still unaware of the newcomers, is caught off guard when they sneak up behind him, teasing him about not noticing their presence. The group's playful intrusion hints that Isego's journey toward embracing the cafe culture and the inspiration he's been seeking may soon take an unexpected and meaningful turn. Isego admits that thanks to Tsubaki, he finally understands how to spend time in a cafe without forcing himself to do the impossible. He realizes he doesn't need to stretch himself thin trying to meet some ideal. Instead, he just needs to be himself in everything he does. This newfound clarity lifts a weight off his chest, and his companion agrees, happy to see him relieved. The moment marks a turning point in Isego's journey as he begins to embrace the cafe culture on his own terms, finding comfort and authenticity in simply being himself. As the group gathers in the cafe, a thoughtful conversation begins about the upcoming feature article. The question arises whether it's appropriate to introduce Rokuhudo for the first piece, despite it not being exactly a cutting-edge cafe. Just as the uncertainty lingers, Isego's expression shifts into a confident grin. He assures everyone that he has a great idea in mind, signaling a fresh direction for the article and a renewed sense of purpose. This moment marks a turning point, hinting that Isego's journey to capture the essence of cafe culture is about to take an inspired leap forward, blending tradition with new perspectives. As Isego settles into the cafe, his earlier frustrations begin to fade, replaced by a quiet excitement for the work ahead. He contemplates ordering one more item, eager to dive into his new role, while his companion playfully teases him, calling him a total cafe expert. When asked if there's anything he hasn't tried yet, Isego calmly declines, saying he's full for the day. His friends chuckle at this, noting how he's usually the one always eating a lot. This light-hearted moment underscores how far Isego has come, from feeling lost and pressured to now embracing the cafe experience with ease and confidence, ready to start fresh with a renewed sense of purpose. As the group settles into the cafe, a playful exchange unfolds around Isego, who's surprisingly holding back from ordering more despite his usual hearty appetite. His friends tease him about spending time as he pleases and not restraining himself, but he insists he's full for the day. The lighthearted banter continues with Isego trying to fend off their good-natured ribbing, while one companion casually announces they'll be ordering a drink, adding to the cheerful atmosphere. This moment of camaraderie and ease marks a refreshing shift for Isego, who has come a long way from his earlier struggles and frustrations. As the laughter dies down, the scene pulls back to reveal the bustling cityscape outside, leaving a sense of warmth and surprise lingering in the air. hinting that this unexpected gathering and newfound comfort may lead to even more meaningful experiences ahead. Isego, deep in thought, discusses his progress on writing about the cafe scene with a colleague, admitting that so far, his efforts feel lost and unproductive. When pressed about his seriousness, he reveals he's been trying hard to keep at it. Knowing how crucial this article is after his proposal was finally approved, his colleague encourages him to keep going, and this sparks a memory for Isego of a past visit to a cafe where a soothing tea helped him through a difficult time, reminding him of Kunisuk-san's gentle presence. Reflecting on this, Isego realizes that being himself is the key to capturing the true essence of the cafe culture, rather than forcing an idealized image. This newfound clarity gives him confidence, and he's ready to change his approach and embrace authenticity in his work. His companion acknowledges that despite setbacks, he's moving in the right direction, and Isego admits he has a knack for this after all. This moment marks a turning point, as Isego's journey to write about the cafe world takes on a fresh, inspired path, blending tradition with his own genuine perspective. As Isego and his companions settle into the cafe, a subtle but noticeable change in his demeanor catches her attention. She remarks that his aura feels completely different, as if revealing a new side of himself. Curious, Isego asks what she means, prompting her to tease him gently about his transformation. When she offers him a rice cake, he quickly declines, brushing it off as nothing. Yet, when she turns away, he protests humorously about his share, showing that despite his growth, some things about him remain unchanged. This light-hearted exchange highlights the balance Isego is finding between embracing his newfound confidence and holding on to familiar quirks, signaling that his journey is evolving but still grounded in who he truly is. As Isego walks through the city streets, he pulls out a magazine to find some inspiration. The page he stops at catches his eye immediately. A recommendation titled Cafe Go, aimed at those interested in cafes but too nervous to visit them alone. The article highlights a particular cafe as their first recommendation, sparking a new sense of direction for Isego's writing. This moment signals a fresh start, encouraging him to embrace a more approachable and genuine perspective on cafe culture, blending his own experiences with the warmth and tradition that these places offer. As Isego receives a call, he's asked about his progress on the cafe article, admitting it's been a struggle and feels like a lost cause. His colleague urges him to keep at it, reminding him how important this piece is after his proposal was finally approved. This pushes Isego to reflect on a past visit to a cafe, where a calming tea helped him through a tough time, connecting him to Kunisuk-san's grandfather, whose tea left a lasting impression. Remembering this, Isego realizes that capturing the true spirit of the cafe means embracing authenticity rather than chasing trends. Meanwhile, a lively scene unfolds with Katsuru and others debating tea culture, with some insisting that the era of tea drinking is over, while others passionately defend its value. The spirited exchange highlights the clash between old traditions and modern tastes, with Katsuru caught in the middle. Later, Isego steps out into the city, flipping through a magazine that features a recommendation called Cafe Go, aimed at encouraging those hesitant to visit cafes alone. Inspired by this fresh perspective, he decides to approach his writing with renewed enthusiasm, blending genuine experience with the warmth of cafe culture. Just then, a familiar voice calls out, and Isego is surprised to see someone he's heard rumors about. With a smile, he promises to share the fascinating discovery he's made once he returns, signaling that his journey into the world of cafes is only just beginning. Isego receives a call checking on his progress with the cafe article, and he admits it's been tough, feeling like he's getting nowhere. His colleague pushes him to keep trying, reminding him how important this piece is after his proposal finally got approved. This encouragement sparks a memory for Isego of a past visit to a cafe where he found comfort in a calming tea, connecting him to Kunisuk-san's grandfather, whose tea had a soothing effect during difficult times. Reflecting on this, Isego realizes that capturing the true spirit of the cafe means embracing authenticity rather than chasing trends. Meanwhile, a heated debate unfolds nearby about the relevance of tea culture today. Some insist the era of tea drinking is over, while others passionately defend its value, with Katsuru caught in the middle of this clash between tradition and modern tastes. Later, Isego flips through a magazine and finds a feature called Cafe Go, aimed at encouraging those hesitant to visit cafes alone. Inspired by this fresh perspective, he decides to approach his writing with renewed enthusiasm, blending genuine experience with the warmth of cafe culture. Just then, a familiar voice calls out, and Isego is surprised to see someone he's heard rumors about. With a smile, he promises to share his fascinating discovery once he returns, signaling that his journey into the world of cafes is only just beginning. As he walks through the bustling city streets, a thought crosses his mind about visiting Rokuhodo next time, hinting at new experiences to come. Iseigo's struggle with his cafe article continues as he admits to a colleague over the phone that progress feels like a lost cause. His colleague pushes him to keep working, reminding him how crucial the piece is after finally getting the proposal approved. This encouragement sparks a memory of a past visit to a cafe where a soothing tea, connected to Kunosuke-san's grandfather, helped him through a difficult time. Reflecting on this, Iseigo realizes that capturing the cafe's true spirit means embracing authenticity rather than chasing trends. Nearby, a heated debate about tea culture unfolds, with some insisting the era of tea drinking is over, while others passionately defend its value. Katsuru finds herself caught in the middle of this clash between tradition and modern tastes. Later, flipping through a magazine, Iseigo finds a feature called Cafe Go, aimed at encouraging those hesitant to visit cafes alone, inspiring him to approach his writing with renewed enthusiasm. Just then, a familiar voice calls out, surprising him with the presence of someone he's heard rumors about. Smiling, he promises to share his fascinating discovery once he returns, signaling that his journey into the world of cafes is only beginning. Meanwhile, in a cozy setting, a light-hearted breakfast scene unfolds where one character winces after biting into hot cheese, prompting a playful exchange about his recent fondness for ham and cheese for breakfast. The warm atmosphere and casual conversation hint at the simple joys and connections that make these moments special, weaving together the evolving stories of everyone involved. The morning unfolds with a gentle scene as the group notices that Toki hasn't risen yet, which is unusual since he's always up early, even on days off. One of them remarks that sometimes it's good to sleep in once in a while, setting a relaxed tone. On the TV, a gourmet guide introduces a hidden gem beloved by locals, promising to showcase Carino Town's famous shopping district. The excitement builds as they realize Carino is quite close, and the guide announces their first stop, Shiratake, a restaurant gaining popularity for its fresh seafood. But as the scene shifts, a sudden eerie creak hints at something unsettling linked to Shiratake, casting a shadow over the otherwise peaceful morning. As the morning unfolds, a sudden cold wind sweeps through the room, startling everyone as a loud rumble echoes outside. Toki, who had been unusually slow to start the day, suddenly collapses, clutching his chest in distress. His friends rush to his side, alarmed and desperate to understand what's happening. They quickly recall that just the day before, four of them had visited Shiratake, the seafood restaurant recently featured on TV as a hidden gem beloved by locals. One of them explains that, while the seafood bowl there is delicious and the place is a favorite among connoisseurs, something seems off. The tension rises as they realize Toki's sudden illness might be connected to their recent outing, casting a shadow over the peaceful morning and hinting at deeper troubles linked to Shiratake. As the story shifts back to the bustling streets of Carino Town, the spotlight falls on Shiratake, the seafood restaurant recently featured on a gourmet TV guide. To everyone's surprise, a long line has formed outside the establishment, shocking the locals who can't believe such a crowd is waiting just to get in. The staff apologizes, explaining that since their TV appearance, the restaurant has been packed every day, with reservations fully booked a month in advance and current times, stretching to 3 hours. This revelation leaves the group stunned, especially when they realize that despite their recent visit, they never actually got to eat inside Shiratake. The excitement and anticipation surrounding the restaurant contrast sharply with the earlier tension over Toki's sudden illness, hinting at deeper mysteries tied to this popular spot as the story continues to unfold. The group reflects on the emotional roller coaster they've been through, recalling how they let all their feelings out, singing heartfelt period drama ballads at karaoke and shedding tears over bowls of soba. One of them admits to truly understanding that overwhelming release, even if he hasn't experienced it personally, while another acknowledges how shocking such emotions can be. Amidst this, a friend laments the frustration of not being able to eat what they wanted, highlighting the unpredictability of their recent experiences. Meanwhile, they consider Sue's spontaneous nature when it comes to deciding what to eat, suggesting that this impulsiveness might explain some of the surprises they faced. As they sit together, the mood is a mix of camaraderie and contemplation, setting the stage for whatever comes next in their intertwined stories. Inside a cat cafe, the tension rises as one man confronts another about the absurdity of searching for a cat that's actually outside with a cold. The frustration boils over as he slams his hand down, emphasizing how ridiculous the situation is. Despite the chaos, the man remains determined to brighten the mood, promising to make a ham and cheese toast for Toki and even craft a special latte with a seafood bowl drawn on the foam. With a sudden burst of energy, he dashes off to fulfill his vow, leaving the other stunned by his enthusiasm and the strange yet heartfelt gesture. The next day dawns bright and clear, and Shibano is already in high spirits, fully embracing his craving for a tempura bowl. Crispy tempura, piping hot rice soaked in sweet sauce, the perfect comfort meal. As he energetically prepares for the day, a coworker asks if he managed to get his manju souvenir yet, hinting at the small traditions and thoughtful gestures that brighten their everyday work life. Shibano's enthusiasm sets a lively tone, promising more moments of warmth and connection as the story continues to unfold. The next day begins with Shibano in high spirits, completely caught up in a tempura bowl mood. The thought of crispy tempura atop piping hot rice soaked in sweet sauce fills him with excitement, setting the tone for the day. As he chats with a coworker about small souvenirs like manju from their travels, the conversation shifts to whether the shop is closed on Wednesdays, revealing the little routines that bring comfort to their busy lives. Meanwhile, Isego is seen struggling to find a trendy cafe to write about, his frustration mounting as he admits the search has been fruitless so far. Despite the pressure from his editor to deliver, he keeps at it, determined to meet expectations. Back at the office, Shibano's craving for tempura bowls is sparked by a recent TV segment, and he eagerly confirms with a colleague that the restaurant his leader once took him to is open, already planning his lunch. The camaraderie and small moments of daily life blend with personal ambitions and cravings, painting a lively picture of their intertwined routines and desires as the story moves forward. The next day, Shibano wakes up with a single-minded craving for a tempura bowl. Imagining the crispy tempura atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce, he's already in the perfect mood for it. At work, a coworker casually asks if he's gotten his manju souvenir yet, a small but meaningful tradition among them. Meanwhile, Isego struggles to find a trendy cafe to write about, his frustration mounting as his editor pressures him to deliver a compelling piece. Despite the setbacks, he keeps pushing forward, determined to meet expectations. Back at the shop, Shibano meticulously checks the day's inventory. Driven by a newfound resolve sparked by Tokataka's story, he's determined to ensure no customer leaves disappointed, especially after hearing about the sadness of missing out on a desired dish. His passion burns so fiercely that it almost seems like he and his colleague are literally on fire as they prepare for the day. This blend of personal ambition, heartfelt dedication, and everyday camaraderie sets the stage for the next chapter in their intertwined lives. The next day dawns with Shibano completely caught up in a tempura bowl mood, his mind filled with the image of crispy tempura atop piping hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. His excitement is palpable as he energetically moves through the day, embodying the craving that drives him. Meanwhile, Isego struggles to find a trendy cafe to write about, his frustration growing under the pressure from his editor to deliver a compelling piece. Despite the setbacks, he remains determined to push forward. Back at the shop, a quiet moment unfolds as the man in traditional attire reflects on the bittersweet nature of missing out on food. Though it isn't always a bad thing, he can't help but feel a pang of regret, hoping that the treasured seafood bowl will be enjoyed by others. The warmth of the memory lingers as he sighs softly, wishing for a chance to share that joy with everyone once more. The next day, Shibano wakes up completely consumed by a craving for a tempura bowl. His mind filled with the image of crispy tempura atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. Bursting with excitement, he heads to work, embodying the very mood of his favorite comfort food. However, his anticipation quickly turns to disappointment when he arrives at the tempura bowl shop only to find it unexpectedly closed. The day has been rough. His lunch break was cut short by a complaint, leaving him with just a single sweet bun, and a meeting dragged on longer than expected, preventing him from going home on time. Now, faced with the shop's temporary closure, his hunger and frustration weigh heavily on him as he staggers away, the day's misfortunes piling up one after another. The next day, Shibano wakes up completely consumed by a craving for a tempura bowl, his mind filled with the image of crispy tempura atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. Bursting with excitement, he heads out, fully embodying the mood of his favorite comfort food. But as he arrives at the cafe, his enthusiasm is abruptly crushed. Every restaurant is closed on Wednesdays, including the one he had been looking forward to. Frustration boils over as he thrashes about, lamenting the unfortunate timing and the fact that the closures only make his craving grow stronger. To his surprise, the worker at the cafe is dressed in traditional kimono, revealing the place as a Japanese-style cafe, far from the trendy spot he had been imagining. The realization hits him hard, leaving him stunned and questioning how he missed such an obvious detail until now. The next day, Shibano is completely caught up in his tempura bowl mood. The image of crispy tempura over steaming rice soaked in sweet sauce filling his mind. His excitement is palpable as he rushes toward a place he just discovered that sells tempura bowls. When he arrives, he's stunned to find the shop seemingly closed, but the staff quickly reassures him that he still has time. With a huge smile lighting up his face, Shibano feels like it's a miracle and thanks his luck as he eagerly takes a seat. Without hesitation, he orders one tempura bowl, his joy and anticipation shining through as the scene closes on this moment of simple happiness finally within reach. The next day, Shibano arrives at the cafe, still riding the wave of his tempura bowl craving, only to be met with unexpected disappointment. When he eagerly asks for a tempura bowl, the staff apologizes, explaining that the store doesn't actually serve them. Confused, Shibano points out the board outside that clearly advertised tempura, but the workers clarify that it was a misunderstanding. Overwhelmed by the sudden letdown, Shibano's excitement collapses, and he trembles as those around him rush to check if he's all right. It turns out he misread the sign entirely, and the moment ends with him fainting from the shock of his dashed hopes. The next day, Shibano is completely overtaken by a craving for a tempura bowl. The image of crispy tempura over steaming rice soaked in sweet sauce filling his mind. His excitement is so intense that it almost seems like a physical force, a mood that radiates from him as he moves through the day. But as he stands there, the weight of despair settles in. Those around him sense it too, as if they're witnessing the very embodiment of shattered hopes. It's clear that Shibano has been consumed by this longing, dreaming of indulging in tempura all day long. Yet now, that dream is slipping away, crushed by reality. His clenched fist and heavy breath reveal the depth of his frustration, as the moment closes on him struggling to hold onto the joy he so desperately sought. The next day, Shibano arrives at the cafe, still caught up in his craving for a tempura bowl. His excitement is palpable as he confidently orders one, only to be met with confusion when the staff points out that it's not on the menu. Despite this, the worker assures him it's no problem and that it might just take a little while. Grateful and relieved, Shibano's face lights up with joy, feeling like his long-awaited comfort food is finally within reach. As the staff prepares the dish, Shibano is filled with a renewed sense of hope and anticipation, ready to savor the moment he's been longing for. The next day, Shibano is completely immersed in his tempura bowl mood, his mind swirling with the image of crispy tempura atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. His excitement is so vivid that it almost feels like a physical force driving him forward. When the moment finally arrives, the staff thanks him for waiting and presents his tempura bowl. To his amazement, the bowl is piled so high with tempura that the rice is completely hidden beneath it. Overwhelmed with joy, he thanks them profusely and eagerly prepares to dig in. The staff apologizes for being out of shrimp and explains they substituted chicken instead. But Shibano is touched by the generous portion and the massive size of the shrimp pieces. Despite the unexpected change, his happiness shines through as he embraces this long-awaited moment of comfort and satisfaction. The next day, Shibano is completely immersed in his craving for a tempura bowl. The image of crispy tempura over steaming rice soaked in sweet sauce filling his mind. His excitement is so vivid that it almost feels like a physical force driving him forward. When the moment finally arrives, the staff thanks him for waiting and presents his tempura bowl. To his amazement, the bowl is piled so high with tempura that the rice is completely hidden beneath it. Overwhelmed with joy, he thanks them profusely and eagerly prepares to dig in. The staff apologizes for being out of shrimp and explains they substituted chicken instead. But Shibano is touched by the generous portion and the massive size of the shrimp pieces. Despite the unexpected change, his happiness shines through as he embraces this long-awaited moment of comfort and satisfaction. Though visibly disappointed that the tempura is chicken rather than shrimp, he nods and acknowledges it with a smile, deciding to let the taste be. The judge, as he takes a bite, he reflects that while chicken ranks last on his personal meat list, it's still a tempura bowl after all. Relieved and content, he finally gets to enjoy the tempura bowl he's been longing for, proving that sometimes, even a small compromise can bring great joy. The next day, Shibano is completely in the mood for a tempura bowl, his mind filled with the image of crispy tempura resting atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. His excitement is so intense it almost feels like a physical force driving him forward. As he finally receives the dish, he's amazed to see it piled so high with tempura that the rice is hidden beneath the generous heap. Overwhelmed with joy, he thanks the staff profusely and eagerly digs in, though the staff apologizes for substituting chicken for shrimp due to being out of stock. Shibano is touched by the generous portion and the size of the pieces. Despite his initial disappointment, he smiles and decides to judge the dish by its taste. taking a bite. He reflects that while chicken is his least favorite meat, this tempura bowl still satisfies his craving, relieved and content. He embraces this long-awaited moment of comfort and satisfaction, proving that sometimes a small compromise can bring great joy. As he enjoys the meal, those around him cheer him on, sharing in his happiness and celebrating the simple pleasure of a delicious tempura bowl. The next day, Shibano is completely caught up in his tempura bowl mood, his mind swirling with the image of crispy tempura resting atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. His excitement is so vivid it almost feels like a physical force driving him forward. As he finally receives the dish, he's amazed to see it piled so high with tempura that the rice is hidden beneath the generous heap. Overwhelmed with joy, he thanks the staff profusely and eagerly digs in, though the staff apologizes for substituting chicken for shrimp due to being out of stock. Shibano is touched by the generous portion and the size of the pieces. Curious, he asks if it's really chicken, and the staff explains they use chicken breast wrapped in batter to keep it fluffy, seasoned simply with sake to remove any smell, making the outside crispy and the inside juicy. Taking a bite, Shibano is pleasantly surprised. Despite chicken being his least favorite meat, the tender, flavorful tempura paired with the sweet sauce is phenomenal. Even imagining veggie tempura alongside it, he savors the moment, fully embracing this long-awaited comfort and satisfaction. The next day, Shibano is completely caught up in his craving for a tempura bowl, his mind filled with the image of crispy tempura resting atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. His excitement is so vivid it almost feels like a physical force driving him forward. When the dish finally arrives, he's amazed to see it piled so high with tempura that the rice is completely hidden beneath the generous heap. Overwhelmed with joy, he thanks the staff profusely and eagerly digs in, though the staff apologizes for substituting chicken for shrimp due to being out of stock. Shibano is touched by the generous portion and the size of the pieces. As he savors the meal, he remarks that sometimes when the batter is too thick it feels heavy. But this chicken tempura is actually a lot better than fatty shrimp. Laughing with the staff, he expresses how happy he feels in that moment, grateful for the kindness shown to him. Before leaving, he bows deeply, promising he won't forget their generosity, while the staff smiles warmly, glad to see him so content. As the day unfolds, Shibano is completely caught up in his craving for a tempura bowl, his mind vividly filled with the image of crispy tempura resting atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. His excitement is so intense it almost feels like a physical force driving him forward. Meanwhile, a conversation reveals that Tokataka's chicken tempura is special. It's said to come alive when you eat it. A story is shared about how Tokataka once couldn't get the carriage he wanted, so his uncle took him to another restaurant where he tried chicken tempura for the first time and loved it. This experience even saved a customer, showing how chicken tempura can unexpectedly become a beloved dish. The warmth of this tale adds a layer of meaning to Shibano's own enjoyment, connecting past and present through the simple joy of food. The next day, Shibano is completely immersed in his tempura bowl mood, his mind swirling with the image of crispy tempura resting atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. The sound of clattering dishes and the sight of the piping hot rice only fuel his craving further. As he moves with eager anticipation, he declares to himself that today, he's in full tempura bowl mode, ready to savor every bite of this comforting dish. The next day, Shibano is completely caught up in his tempura bowl mood, his mind swirling with the image of crispy tempura resting atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. The clatter of dishes and the sight of the piping hot rice only fuel his craving further, and he declares to himself that today, he's in full tempura bowl mode, ready to savor every bite of this comforting dish. Meanwhile, Isego is seen on the phone, anxiously asking if his coworker has found a place to write about yet, revealing the pressure to meet expectations and the importance of the assignment. At the same time, Kunosuke-san reflects on a connection to his grandfather, recalling how his tea had a soothing quality that gave him strength during troubled times, a memory that deepens his appreciation for the tea he now drinks. Back at the tea shop, Katsuru faces criticism from an older man who insists that the era of tea drinking is over, challenging her dedication and passion. Despite the harsh words, she remains determined. Though the tension is palpable, Ita-san arrives, greeting everyone warmly, but soon reveals that the tea shop will be shutting down, a blow that brings disappointment and concern among the group. On a lighter note, Gyur and Tokataka chat about the day ahead, with Tokataka teaching pottery and Gyur planning a surprise for someone, hinting at a close-knit community and their daily lives. Later, Azumi meets with a friend, suggesting they go out together on Sunday, enjoying a rare moment of relaxation and companionship. Finally, a cheerful man named Toki greets Mr. Nagi with a booming laugh, thanking him for helping his son recently. Toki explains that Negi was praised as a great benefactor and treated with kindness because of it. When asked what he did to help, Toki modestly downplays it, though the others are impressed, showing how small acts of kindness can ripple through their lives and bring people together. The next day, Shibano's craving for a tempura bowl is in full swing, his mind swirling with the image of crispy tempura resting atop steaming hot rice soaked in sweet sauce. Meanwhile, Isego anxiously checks in with a coworker over the phone, pressing for progress on finding a trendy cafe to write about, revealing the pressure they face to meet expectations. At the same time, Kunosuke-san reflects on a deep connection to his grandfather, recalling how his tea had a soothing warmth that gave him strength during difficult times, a memory that deepens his appreciation for the tea he now drinks. Back at the tea shop, Katsuru faces harsh criticism from an older man who insists the era of tea drinking is over, challenging her dedication. Despite the tension, she remains determined, though the mood darkens when Ida-san arrives to deliver the disappointing news that the tea shop will be shutting down. On a lighter note, Gyur and Tokitaka chat about their day ahead. Tokitaka is teaching pottery while Gyur plans a surprise for someone, highlighting the close-knit community around them. Azumi enjoys a rare moment of relaxation, inviting a friend out for Sunday plans. Later, a cheerful man named Toki greets Mr. Negi with a booming laugh, thanking him for helping his son recently. Toki explains that Negi was praised as a great benefactor and treated with kindness because of it. When asked what he did to help, Negi modestly downplays it, but the others are impressed, showing how small acts of kindness ripple through their lives. Meanwhile, Shibano bursts into the office with excitement, declaring he's in full tempura bowl mode, ready to savor every bite. The story then shifts to a lively scene where a seafood bowl is presented, piled high with fresh slices and drizzled with wasabi soy sauce. The group eagerly digs in, their faces lighting up with delight as they savor the delicious meal. The joy of finally enjoying this feast together brings a warm, satisfying close to the day's events. The scene shifts to a quiet moment outside a traditional establishment, where the entrance feels a bit bare. Observing this, one of the men suggests that the menu board would catch more attention if it faced the street instead of its current spot. Another agrees, adding that next time they should bring some flower arrangements to brighten the area and place them near the entrance to create a more inviting atmosphere. As they discuss these small but thoughtful improvements, a contented cat stretches nearby, adding a touch of calm and warmth to the scene. The group gathers around as one of them excitedly suggests placing a unique lamp at the entrance to brighten up the space. Holding up the lamp, he explains that he's been keeping it in his room but thought it would look perfect by the entryway. Despite his enthusiasm, Tsubaki firmly rejects the idea, sparking a playful back and forth about giving the lamp a chance. When asked if he bought it from a flea market vendor, he confirms with a smile, adding that the lamp's soft glow would add a lovely touch to their shared space. The moment captures their camaraderie and the small efforts they make to create a welcoming atmosphere together. The group debates whether placing a unique lamp outside the entrance would attract or scare customers. One insists it's a lovely addition, while another worries it might drive people away. Their playful argument is interrupted by a cheerful girl who arrives, instantly charmed by the lamp's warm glow, calling it gorgeous and adorable. Her enthusiasm lightens the mood, highlighting the group's efforts to create a welcoming and inviting atmosphere together. Just as the group debates the charm of the new lamp by the entrance, their playful argument is cut short by the sudden arrival of a lively young woman. She bursts in, clearly flustered by the warmth radiating from everyone around her, and quickly apologizes for the unexpected intrusion. With a bright smile, she confirms that this is indeed the Rokuhudo Cafe and explains that she came because she heard they could help solve her problems. Her energetic entrance brings a fresh wave of excitement to the scene, hinting at new challenges and connections about to unfold. Just as the group debates the charm of the new lamp by the entrance, their playful argument is interrupted by the sudden arrival of a lively young woman, flustered by the warm atmosphere. She quickly apologizes for barging in but explains that she came because she heard Rokuhudo Cafe could help solve her problems. She gushes about how wonderful the food and drinks are, and how kind the staff is, believing that if she visits, all her worries will drift away. With hopeful determination, she asks if they can really help her, though the group quietly wonders if they can truly fix her troubles. Still, they warmly invite her inside, ready to listen and see what unfolds next. As the group encourages the young woman to share her troubles, one of them admits he's not great at handling these situations and suggests the others take the lead. Without hesitation, they invite her to open up, showing their genuine willingness to listen. Then, as she takes her first bite of the cake, her eyes light up with sparkling delight, exclaiming how delicious it is. The simple joy of the sweet treat seems to lift her spirits instantly. Around her, the atmosphere grows warm and comforting as she continues to savor the cake, declaring it truly healing. The others watch with smiles, impressed by her enthusiasm and the way the food brings a moment of happiness amidst her worries. The young woman quickly apologizes for being so loud, admitting she tends to talk too much. The man reassures her that he doesn't think it's a bad thing, as she reflects on her habit. She wonders if the person she's concerned about might be fed up with her. The man gently suggests that perhaps the problem she's referring to is her boyfriend, causing her to flinch in surprise and embarrassment. Meanwhile, the others watch the exchange quietly, sensing the deeper emotions beneath her words. The young woman suddenly breaks down in tears, overwhelmed and shouting that she no longer understands his feelings. Her emotional outburst shocks everyone around her, leaving them stunned and speechless. After a brief pause, she quickly tries to regain composure and asks for another serving of soy milk coffee, signaling her desire to start fresh. With a deep breath, she introduces herself as Suzu, ready to explain her story from the beginning. Suzu begins to open up about her relationship, revealing that she's been dating a boy for 2 years but feels uncertain about where they stand. She describes him as the quiet type who doesn't talk much, and shares how comfortable she feels when they're together, despite their differences. He's older, mature, a businessman and college graduate, while she only has a high school diploma and works. She cherishes their bond. The others listen attentively, noting how opposites they truly are, as Suzu holds up a playful drawing representing her boyfriend's reserved nature. This glimpse into her relationship adds depth to her earlier emotional struggles, setting the stage for the story to explore the complexities of love and understanding. Suzu, overwhelmed by her doubts, breaks down in tears, unable to believe that her boyfriend could truly be with someone like her. She clings to the hope that this is all just a bad dream, but the pain is clear as she sniffles and struggles to hold back her emotions. The man listening to her gently asks why she thinks her boyfriend feels this way, prompting her to confess that he seems to be avoiding her lately. She recalls how, before, they used to go out to eat, visit cafes, and go on dates whenever he finished work, but now those moments have vanished. The man reflects quietly, explaining that even without her boyfriend explicitly saying it, he's come to understand his feelings and thoughts more deeply since they've been together. He points out subtle signs, like how he looks around restlessly when reading or slowly blinks during meals to show he's full. Suzu's distress grows as she realizes the distance between them, feeling lost and desperate to bridge the gap in their relationship. Suzu wonders aloud if her boyfriend's recent coldness might just be because he's been busy at work, but she admits she hasn't really found out for sure. She worries that if she asks him out, it might only become a burden for him, despite her efforts to work around his schedule. Tearfully, she confesses that he hasn't invited her out recently, and a friend even suggested he might be having an affair, which only deepens her anxiety. Desperate for answers, she turns to the group, hoping their expertise as life counselors can help her understand his feelings. Encouraged by their support, one of them suggests she try inviting him somewhere first, prompting thoughtful consideration as they all try to piece together what his true feelings might be. Suzu hesitates, wondering if asking her boyfriend to meet up would be a nuisance for him. But the man in the kimono reassures her that if he says he can't meet, it's no big deal and there's nothing to worry about. Another agrees, noting that her boyfriend sounds sincere and it's hard to believe he'd be having an affair. Encouraged by their support, Suzu brightens up, determined to ask him to meet immediately. The others cheer her on, reminding her that since there haven't been any major disagreements between them, it's best not to jump to conclusions. With renewed hope, Suzu prepares to take the first step toward clearing the distance in their relationship. Determined to bridge the growing distance between her and her boyfriend, Suzu decides to take action immediately. With a burst of energy, she announces her plan to invite him out as soon as possible, her resolve clear as she dashes off without hesitation. The others watch her go, hoping that this step will bring some clarity and progress to her uncertain relationship. As the day turns to evening, the scene shifts to a quiet cafe where a man sits alone, waiting patiently, while a server approaches with a warm cup of tea, setting the stage for the next chapter in Suzu's story and the unfolding of her heartfelt journey to reconnect. As the man in the kimono arrives at the cafe, he is greeted warmly and quickly served a cup of tea. He acknowledges that some people work long hours, and he suspects that Suzu's boyfriend is simply caught up in his demanding job. Though he admits feeling a bit anxious about the situation, he reminds himself that Suzu did say they planned to meet and talk. The atmosphere is calm but tinged with anticipation, as the others quietly hope for a positive outcome. One of them exhales thoughtfully, suggesting that by now, the couple has likely already discussed their issues and found some resolution. As Suzu anxiously voices her worries about her boyfriend's recent coldness, the man listening gently teases her for getting so worked up in the kitchen, reminding her that she had told them to handle the situation. Suzu, flustered, insists she only overheard their conversation by chance. The moment lightens as the man smiles warmly, easing the tension. Without hesitation, Suzu dashes out, determined to reach out to her boyfriend and bridge the growing distance between them. Outside, the cityscape basks in soft daylight, signaling a new beginning as she takes this bold step toward reconnecting with him. Suddenly, Suzu bursts into the room, overwhelmed with emotion as she cries out that things have been just terrible lately. Her distress is so intense that she collapses dramatically, leaving everyone stunned. One of the men rushes to her side, concerned and asking if she's all right, while another is taken aback, exclaiming in surprise at her sudden change. The scene captures the raw intensity of Suzu's feelings, highlighting just how deeply the situation has affected her and setting the stage for the next emotional turn in her journey. Suzu reveals a text she received from her boyfriend, Hachikuin, saying he's fine but can't meet until next week. She explains that before this message, she had asked how he was doing, and this was his reply. The others note that his texts have always been this brief and to the point. Despite knowing this, Suzu can't help but feel hurt and wonders if he hates her, finding it especially painful to be told so clearly that they can't meet up. As she quietly sobs, the weight of the distance between them settles heavily in the room, deepening the emotional tension of her struggle to reconnect. Suzu wrestles with her doubts, convinced that her boyfriend's coldness means he must be interested in someone else. She can't believe he would go out with another woman, and the thought torments her. Yet, as she vents her frustration, the others remind her that he might just be awkward at expressing his feelings. One suggests that, even if he doesn't say it outright, he probably thinks about her a lot and enjoys their time together. Suzu clings to this hope, though she admits she doesn't get along well with him sometimes. Still, she wonders if maybe she's just being delusional, caught between her fears and the possibility that their bond is stronger than it seems. The scene closes with her stepping forward, uncertain but willing to face whatever comes next in her complicated relationship. Just as Suzu wrestles with her fears about her boyfriend's distant behavior, a sudden, sharp accusation cuts through the tension. Tsubaki appears, calmly but firmly stating that Suzu's boyfriend has met another girl he likes. The weight of this revelation hits Suzu hard, her eyes wide with shock. Despite the painful news, she clenches her fists and steels herself, declaring with fierce determination that she will keep doing her best no matter what. This moment marks a turning point, as Suzu resolves to face the challenges ahead with unwavering strength, refusing to give up on her relationship even in the face of uncertainty and heartbreak. Suzu struggles to understand her boyfriend's distant behavior, convinced he must be interested in someone else. She can't believe he would go out with another woman, and the thought torments her. Yet, her friends remind her that he might just be awkward at expressing his feelings, and even if he doesn't say it outright, he probably thinks about her a lot and cherishes their time together. Despite this, Suzu feels hurt and wonders if he hates her, especially after receiving a brief text saying he can't meet until next week. The tension breaks when Tsubaki calmly reveals that Suzu's boyfriend has indeed met another girl he likes. The shock hits Suzu hard, but she clenches her fists and declares with fierce determination that she will keep trying her best no matter what. She admits she's not the brightest and can be childish, but she wants to try everything she can to win him over by working on herself. If that doesn't work, she's prepared to give up. Her resolve marks a turning point, showing her willingness to face whatever comes next in her complicated relationship. Suzu, flustered and nervous, is urged by her friends to give her best effort in her self-improvement journey. Despite her hesitation, she finds encouragement in their support and determination. With a newfound resolve, she confidently declares that it's time to start working on herself right away, as she thanks everyone for their encouragement. A question lingers among the group. If her boyfriend said he can't meet until next week, does that mean they will meet up after? This moment marks a hopeful turning point as Suzu commits to growing and facing the challenges ahead with renewed energy and determination. As the conversation turns hopeful, Suzu's friend points out that since her boyfriend said he can't meet until next week, there's still a chance they might see each other after that. Suzu suddenly realizes this possibility, her eyes widening with a spark of hope, but before she can dwell on it, she quickly takes the initiative, paying for something and rushing off with determination. Her resolve is clear as she vows to do her best, calling out to her boyfriend too for her. With a renewed sense of purpose, she sets off, ready to face whatever comes next in her complicated relationship. As night falls, a quiet moment unfolds in a modest room where Tsubaki is deep in thought, planning out ideas for cakes. The door creaks open, and someone calls out to her, asking if it's all right to borrow a book, without hesitation. She agrees, and the visitor steps inside, curious if she's also going to read. The scene captures a calm, intimate atmosphere as the two share this simple exchange, hinting at a peaceful collaboration or companionship in the midst of their creative pursuits. In a quiet moment surrounded by shelves of books, a man carefully examines the cakes ordered for the day, noting that they are the usual shortcakes, but this time, he reveals a desire to create something different. Inspired by a girl he saw earlier, determined to challenge himself, he reflects on how significant this is. Even if the girl seems a bit clueless, when asked if today was a good day, he smiles and acknowledges the impact of the encounter, hinting that this new motivation might lead to something special. The next day, Shibano finds himself in the perfect mood for a tempura bowl. Crisp tempura, piping hot rice, and sweet sauce all coming together just right. His excitement is palpable as he eagerly awaits the meal, embodying the joy of simple pleasures. Meanwhile, in a quiet, traditional setting, a man reflects on Suzu's unwavering determination. He admires how she declared she'd do whatever it takes without giving up, finding her resilience truly admirable. His companion agrees wholeheartedly, expressing a desire to be as strong-willed as she is. As the tea is prepared and served, the man hopes that Suzu's tenacity will reach her boyfriend as well, bridging the distance between them. The scene closes on a warm note, with the group sharing the moment as the tea is almost ready, symbolizing a quiet but meaningful connection amid the unfolding challenges. 2 weeks later, the calm of the tea shop is gently stirred as the man behind the counter notes that the customer who ordered a custom cake should be arriving soon. Though he hasn't seen them yet, his anticipation is clear. Just then, the sliding door opens, and a woman in a wide-brimmed hat steps inside. Prompting a warm welcome with a polite smile, he asks if she needs a table for one, and she nods, her shy giggles barely contained as she follows him inside. Outside, the shop's facade is adorned with messages of gratitude from satisfied customers, a testament to the quiet success and heartfelt connections fostered within these walls. This serene moment hints at new beginnings and the unfolding of stories yet to be told, as the tea shop continues to be a place where lives intersect and gentle changes take root. Just as the tea shop settles into its usual calm, the sliding door opens to reveal a familiar figure. Suzu, radiant and full of life, stepping inside with a wide-brimmed hat in hand. Her cheerful greeting catches everyone off guard, sparking surprise and delight among the group. They barely recognize her at first, amazed by the fresh, confident aura she now carries. Suzu playfully admits she's been working hard these past 2 weeks, and her transformation is clear to all. The once shy and uncertain girl now exudes a completely different vibe, signaling a new chapter not only for herself but for everyone around her. Suzu reveals the intense effort she's put into transforming herself, explaining how she studied fashion magazines and even adjusted her voice to sound more mature, hoping to be a better fit for her boyfriend. She proudly shows off the heavy reference books she's been carrying everywhere, though her friend can't help but point out that her muscles seem to be getting stronger instead, despite the teasing. It's clear Suzu has poured a lot of dedication into this change. When asked if her boyfriend has seen her yet, Suzu hesitates, caught between excitement and uncertainty. Meanwhile, her friend acknowledges the remarkable transformation, but gently probes about whether it has truly reached the one person who matters most to Suzu. Suzu surprises everyone by announcing that her boyfriend promised to meet her right after their current gathering, causing a wave of shock among the group. She recalls their previous plan to meet at the park, but insists that this place calms her nerves better. Even though she's visibly shaking with anxiety, despite her hopeful tone, she confesses uncertainty about the reason behind his promise, fearing it might be about breaking up with her. Still, she braces herself for the worst, showing a mix of vulnerability and resolve as she prepares for whatever the meeting might bring. Suzu smiles warmly, expressing her determination to be the best version of herself, leaving the rest in her boyfriend's hands. As she prepares to leave, she asks if she can visit from time to time, receiving a cheerful yes in response. Just then, a man quietly enters, politely announcing that he has come to pick up a cake order, catching Suzu by surprise as she turns to thank him. Just as Suzu turns to thank the man who came to pick up the cake order, he calls out her name, catching everyone by surprise. The group reacts with shock and confusion as they recognize him. It's Hachiro, Suzu's boyfriend. Without hesitation, Suzu leaps into his arms, exclaiming how much she missed him, completely abandoning her usual composed demeanor. The others watch in stunned silence, realizing that this regular customer is indeed the person Suzu has been anxiously waiting for, marking a heartfelt and unexpected reunion. As the man arrives to pick up a cake, He politely asks for a moment, catching everyone off guard. Suzu recognizes him immediately and is surprised to see him here. He inquires if she also comes to this place, and she cheerfully admits that she does, explaining that a friend told her the employees here are wonderful and gave her great advice on her love life. The atmosphere shifts suddenly when Suzu appears flustered and uneasy, prompting concern from those around her. As she hesitates to explain, the tension lingers, leaving everyone wondering what might be troubling her in this unexpected encounter. Suzu nervously confesses that she thought he might have stopped liking her since they hadn't met, so she came here seeking advice from everyone and tried to give herself a makeover to become someone better suited for him. She laughs awkwardly, doubting if she did a good job, while he remains silent, listening intently. Just then, he quietly places a box on the counter, apologizing for and handing over her cake. Suzu looks surprised, caught off guard by the simple yet meaningful gesture. As the moment lingers between them. As the moment hangs between them, Suzu finally opens up about why she's been distant lately. She explains that this month has been overwhelming, with heavy deadlines at work leaving her exhausted. She didn't want him to see how worn out she looked because she knew it would only worry him. Her confession reveals just how much she's been pushing herself, always working late into the night. Despite all this, she admits that she thought it would be better not to cancel their plans, so she avoided asking him out unless she was sure she could make it. Her honesty strikes a chord, showing how much she cares but also how much pressure she's been under. The man listens quietly, understanding the weight of her words, and the air between them softens as they share this vulnerable moment. Just as the tension between Suzu and Hachiro lingers, he quietly places a beautifully decorated birthday cake on the counter, breaking the silence with a simple apology for the delay. Then, with a calm and sincere voice, he wishes her a happy birthday, calling her by name. Suzu's eyes widen in surprise and emotion, the weight of the moment settling between them as the heartfelt gesture speaks volumes about his feelings despite the recent distance. This quiet exchange marks a turning point, filled with unspoken understanding and the promise of renewed connection. Just as the group processes the quiet yet meaningful reunion between Suzu and Hachiro, the atmosphere shifts when he gently places a beautifully decorated birthday cake on the counter. With a calm and sincere voice, he wishes her a happy birthday, catching her completely off guard. The others quickly realize that in all the worry about their relationship, Suzu had forgotten her own birthday. Surprised and touched, she acknowledges the effort he went through to order the cake, realizing it was all for her sake. Hachiro explains that last year he gave her a cake from a restaurant she didn't even know about, and seeing her happy then inspired him to do the same this year, this time choosing the cake from the very store where they now stand. His heartfelt gesture and quiet dedication reveal just how much he cares, bringing a warm and hopeful close to this emotional moment. After the emotional birthday moment, the tension between Suzu and Hachiro begins to ease as he reassures her that everything was just a misunderstanding. Suzu, still a bit flustered, tries to process his words while the others watch quietly. Hachiro gently tells her not to worry about whether they're a good match, explaining that he was always sure about listening to everything she had to say. Suzu's expression softens as she realizes how much he values their communication, and the atmosphere shifts to one of quiet understanding and renewed hope for their relationship. Just as the tension between Suzu and Hachiro begins to ease, he notices her changed appearance and gently points out that she even dyed her hair. Suzu, caught off guard, quickly reveals it's just a wig, worried it might have been a problem if it didn't look good. Hachiro smiles warmly, acknowledging how hard she worked for his sake and how much that means to him. With a soft pat on her head, he thanks her and apologizes for making her worry, bringing a tender and reassuring close to their heartfelt exchange. Just as the tension between Suzu and Hachiro seemed to reach a breaking point, he suddenly calls out her name, catching everyone by surprise. Suzu jumps into his arms, overwhelmed with emotion, and the others watch in astonishment at this unexpected display of affection. While some wonder if this is just a dream or a sudden change in his behavior, Suzu can't help but express how much she missed him. The moment reveals the depth of their feelings despite the recent misunderstandings. As the scene unfolds, Suzu's friends try to make sense of the situation, noting how Hachiro has been distant lately, avoiding meeting up with her even though they used to spend time together regularly. They speculate that he might be struggling with his own feelings, which only adds to the emotional weight of the reunion. Meanwhile, Suzu is seen quietly crying, overwhelmed by the complexity of their relationship and the unspoken emotions between them. One of her friends points out how Hachiro's actions, like looking at her with concern and making time for her despite his busy schedule, show that he cares deeply, even if he hasn't been able to express it well. The story then shifts to a lighter moment where Suzu admits she tried all kinds of cakes at the shop, not realizing Hachiro was a regular customer there. He reassures her gently, telling her not to worry about the surprise and appreciating the effort she put into it. Suzu, with tears still in her eyes, smiles and confesses how relieved she is, feeling a renewed sense of hope and connection between them. This heartfelt exchange marks a turning point, blending vulnerability, understanding, and the promise of healing in their complicated relationship. The next day, the scene shifts to a lively atmosphere as co-workers bring back souvenirs from their travels, sharing small treats and chatting about their experiences. Among them, the focus turns to a new recipe being introduced, a cake made with yams instead of the usual ingredients. The surprise is palpable as the idea of a gooey yam cake is met with shock and curiosity. It's explained that using yams in place of eggs makes the cake fluffy and sticky, creating an unexpectedly delicious combination despite the unlikely pairing. The man presenting the recipe smiles confidently, noting that the surprising compatibility of these ingredients is what makes the cake so good, leaving everyone intrigued and eager to try this unique creation. As the group shares a light-hearted moment, Suzu bursts out laughing, teasing Hachiro by saying their dynamic is just like hers and his, causing him to blush and cover his face in embarrassment. The others watch the exchange with smiles, relieved that the earlier tension has finally dissipated. Suzu then turns to the group, expressing her gratitude for their support and the resolution of the misunderstanding that had weighed heavily on her. Meanwhile, the three men standing nearby reflect on how worried they were about what might happen, but now feel thankful that everything has been smoothed over. The scene closes with a sense of warmth and camaraderie, as Suzu joyfully thanks everyone once again, signaling a hopeful new chapter for their relationships. Just as the dust settles from the recent emotional turmoil, the group reflects on how their worries about each other's intentions caused them to miss the real mark. Despite feeling they weren't very helpful this time around, they acknowledge the importance of their support and the hope that things will improve. One of them even jokes about solving the case more quickly, like the legendary Uka Ekizan, prompting a lighthearted reprimand. Yet, beneath the humor, there's a genuine sense of camaraderie and acceptance. As they part ways, one quietly admits that no matter what, two of their friends are destined for each other, ending the moment with a knowing smile and a soft chuckle, hinting at the hopeful future awaiting Suzu and Hachiro. As the group reflects on the recent events, they realize how much they had worried about each other's intentions, often missing the real feelings beneath the surface. Though they feel their support wasn't as helpful as they hoped, they acknowledge its importance and hope for better days ahead. One of them even jokes about solving the case faster, like the legendary Uka Ekizan, prompting a playful scolding but also highlighting their camaraderie. Amid the light-hearted banter, a quiet admission surfaces that two of their friends are truly meant for each other, leaving everyone with a knowing smile and a sense of hope. Meanwhile, Suzu and Hachiro share a tender moment, walking side by side with shopping bags in hand, their favorite drink orders unchanged, symbolizing the steady bond between them. Nearby, a whimsical glowing decoration captures the attention of passers-by, who find it charming and romantic despite not fully understanding it, adding a touch of magic to the scene and underscoring the warmth and connection blossoming around them all. The next day, the atmosphere is lively as co-workers bring back souvenirs from their travels, sharing small treats and stories. One of them excitedly talks about a new recipe involving a cake made with yams instead of eggs, creating a fluffy, sticky texture that surprises everyone. The man presenting the recipe confidently explains how this unusual combination turns out delicious, sparking curiosity and anticipation among the group. Suzu laughs and teases Hachiro, comparing their dynamic to the cake's unexpected harmony, causing him to blush and hide his face. Nearby, three men reflect on how worried they were about the situation but are relieved that everything has been resolved smoothly. They joke about solving the case faster, like the legendary Uka Ekizan, but ultimately acknowledge that despite their worries, two of their friends are truly meant for each other. Meanwhile, Suzu and Hachiro walk side by side, carrying shopping bags and sipping their favorite drinks, their steady bond evident. A glowing decoration nearby catches the attention of passers-by, who find it charming and romantic, adding a touch of magic to the warm, hopeful scene unfolding around them. The next day, the cafe buzzes with the usual lively chatter as the staff prepare for the day ahead. Among them, a pair of men in traditional robes discuss the dwindling stock of chiffon cake, deciding to let Sway know there's only one left. One of them expresses interest in trying the cake next time, showing a quiet enthusiasm for the sweet treat. As they place their order, 2 lattes and a wasanban chiffon cake, a server approaches to inform them with an apologetic tone that there might be an issue for filling it. The scene captures a peaceful moment of everyday life, blending the charm of tradition with the simple joys of shared moments over coffee and cake. The day unfolds quietly in the cafe as the last fluffy chiffon cake is sold, leaving a small family momentarily disappointed. Yet, a calm customer steps in, kindly changing his order to a matcha roll cake, easing the situation with gentle reassurance. The family expresses heartfelt thanks, their smiles brightening the room. As the man settles at a table, the warmth of gratitude lingers, reminding everyone of the simple kindnesses that weave through everyday life. The next day at the cafe, the atmosphere is calm yet lively as two men in traditional robes arrive to place their order. They mention the dwindling stock of the popular chiffon cake and decide to let the pâtissier know there's only one left, as they order 2 lattes and the last chiffon cake. A server approaches with an apologetic expression, hinting at a possible issue fulfilling the order. Despite this, the men remain polite and curious about the cake's reputation. Soon, the last chiffon cake is sold, leaving a small family disappointed. But a kind customer steps in, changing his order to a matcha roll cake with a gentle smile that eases the mood. The family expresses heartfelt thanks, their gratitude brightening the room. The pâtissier, approached by one of the men, thanks them for earlier and admits he just wanted to try a little of the cake himself. When asked about the matcha roll cake, he modestly admits it wasn't too bad and that it'll pass, showing a humble side behind his skill. This quiet exchange wraps the scene with a warm sense of everyday kindness and the simple joys found in shared moments over coffee and sweets. The 3 men reflect on how worried they were about the situation but are relieved it turned out to be no big deal. They joke about solving the case faster, like the legendary uka-ekizan. Though they admit they might not have been very useful, still, they agree that the 2 friends at the heart of it all are truly meant for each other. Suddenly, Suzu calls out to Hachiro, surprising everyone as she jumps into his arms, confessing how much she missed him. The moment is heartfelt and a little playful, highlighting the deep bond between them. Meanwhile, Mr. Negi arrives at the cafe, laughing warmly as he thanks the staff for their kindness toward his son. He explains that his son spoke highly of their hospitality and wanted to treat them in return. As the day progresses, co-workers share souvenirs and stories from their travels, sparking lively conversation and laughter. Later, a man in a suit approaches the staff with a request. Not for repayment, but to ask for a favor. He wants them to participate in a special event, and his enthusiasm is infectious. The group listens intently, intrigued by what this event might entail, setting the stage for new developments ahead. The 3 men reflect on how worried they were at first, but now they're relieved it wasn't a big deal. They joke about solving the case faster, like the legendary uka-ekizan. Though they admit they might not have been very helpful, still, they agree that the 2 friends at the center of it all are truly meant for each other. Suddenly, Suzu surprises everyone by leaping into Hachiro's arms, confessing how much she missed him, a heartfelt and playful moment that highlights their deep bond. Meanwhile, Mr. Negi arrives at the cafe, laughing warmly as he thanks the staff for their kindness toward his son, explaining that his son spoke highly of their hospitality and wanted to treat them in return. As the day goes on, co-workers share souvenirs and stories from their travels, sparking lively conversation and laughter. Later, a man in a suit approaches the staff with a request. Not for repayment, but to ask for a favor. Introducing himself as Tsunezaki, the event host, he explains that a shop registered to participate in a sweets collection event next week suddenly had to cancel. He asks if they could stand in for that shop for 1 week, offering a suitable space for Rokuhudo, though the men find the idea of closing their store for a whole week a bit too long. Tsunezaki assures them it would bring great publicity. He adds that he's not forcing them, but admits it would be hard to find someone else on such short notice. The conversation leaves the group weighing the opportunity and the challenge ahead. As the 3 men reflect on their earlier worries, they admit they might not have been very helpful, joking about how they should have solved the case faster like the legendary uka-ekizan. Yet, they all agree that the 2 friends at the center of it all are truly meant for each other. Suddenly, Suzu surprises everyone by leaping into Hachiro's arms, confessing how much she missed him in a heartfelt and playful moment that highlights their deep bond. Meanwhile, Mr. Negi arrives at the cafe, laughing warmly as he thanks the staff for their kindness toward his son, explaining that his son spoke highly of their hospitality and wanted to treat them in return. As the day goes on, co-workers share souvenirs and stories from their travels, sparking lively conversation and laughter. Later, a man in a suit named Tsunezaki approaches the staff with a request. Not for repayment, but to ask for a favor. He explains that a shop registered to participate in a sweets collection event next week suddenly had to cancel and asks if they could stand in for that shop for 1 week, offering a suitable space for Rokuhudo, though the men find the idea of closing their store for a whole week a bit too long. Tsunezaki assures them it would bring great publicity and admits it would be hard to find someone else on such short notice. After some thought, they agree to participate for 3 days, recognizing that the eager customers and the unique charm of their shop will make the event worthwhile. With a smile, they accept the challenge, ready to temporarily step away from their store and embrace this new opportunity. The 3 men reflect on how worried they were at first, but now they're relieved it wasn't a big deal. They joke about how they should have solved the case faster, like the legendary Uka Ekizan. Though they admit they might not have been very helpful, still, they agree that the 2 friends at the center of it all are truly meant for each other. Suddenly, Suzu surprises everyone by leaping into Hachiro's arms, confessing how much she missed him in a heartfelt and playful moment that highlights their deep bond. Meanwhile, Mr. Negi arrives at the cafe, laughing warmly as he thanks the staff for their kindness toward his son, explaining that his son spoke highly of their hospitality and wanted to treat them in return. As the day goes on, co-workers share souvenirs and stories from their travels, sparking lively conversation and laughter. Later, Tsunezaki, the man in the suit who had earlier asked for a favor, returns with detailed plans for the sweets collection event. He hands over papers outlining the event logistics and offers to answer any questions about transporting supplies. The group discusses concerns about working in front of customers and the setup, but Tsunezaki reassures them that the kitchen is completely enclosed and that even if they're not too enthusiastic, the event will work out. With a mix of relief and determination, they prepare to embrace this new challenge, confident that 3 days will be just enough to make the event a success. As the group wraps up their plans for the sweets collection event, they share a lighthearted moment, joking about how they should have solved the earlier case more quickly, like the legendary Uka Ekizan. Despite their self-deprecating humor, they acknowledge that the 2 friends at the heart of it all truly belong together. Suddenly, Suzu surprises everyone by leaping into Hachiro's arms, confessing how much she missed him in a sweet and playful display of their close bond. Meanwhile, Mr. Negi arrives at the cafe, warmly thanking the staff for their kindness toward his son and sharing laughter over the hospitality shown. As the day progresses, co-workers exchange souvenirs and stories from their travels, filling the atmosphere with lively conversation and camaraderie. Later, Tsunezaki returns with detailed plans for the event, handing over logistics and reassuring the team about the setup, especially the enclosed kitchen that will keep their work behind the scenes. Though some concerns linger, the group feels a mix of relief and determination. Ready to take on the challenge, on Transportation Day, the team gathers with anticipation, exchanging cheerful goodbyes and well wishes as they prepare to set up for the event. Yet beneath the surface, a quiet tension lingers between 2 of them, hinting at unspoken feelings as they face the day ahead. Then, with a flourish, the cafe's display is revealed, marking the start of this new chapter and the promise of exciting days to come. The next day, the team arrives at the event space, their eyes wide with surprise as they take in the surprisingly modest size of the venue, just as they begin to question if this is really the right place. Tsunezaki appears with a cheerful greeting, catching them off guard, despite their doubts. He explains that the space was originally reserved for a famous chocolatier named Bellico, making it the prime spot for their pop-up. Though it's smaller than expected and surrounded by well-known shops, the group starts to see the potential in this prominent location, ready to make the most of the opportunity ahead. The team arrives at the event space, their excitement quickly tempered by the surprisingly modest size of the venue, just as doubts begin to creep in about whether this is the right place. Tsunezaki appears with a bright smile, catching them off guard. He explains that the space was originally reserved for the renowned Tokyo chocolatier Bellico, making it a prime location despite its smaller scale and the surrounding well-known shops. With a flourish, he reveals their so-called enclosed kitchen, which, to their surprise, is more transparent than enclosed, sparkling under the light but offering little privacy. Despite this unexpected setup, Tsunezaki encourages them, assuring that they will do well alongside the others and wishes them the best of luck. The group, still adjusting to the reality of the space, begins to see the potential in this unique opportunity, ready to face the challenges ahead with renewed determination. As the team prepares to leave, a wave of frustration hits when they realize Tsunezaki left out crucial details about the kitchen setup. One of them bursts out, declaring that the kind of kitchen they've been given is a total no-go, too risky for mistakes. The weight of this oversight settles heavily, especially as they consider Tsubaki's fragile mental state, who seems overwhelmed and withdrawn. Despite the setbacks, they start focusing on what they can control, deciding to concentrate on the front of the event since there won't be snacks to manage. With the crowd expected to be large, they know they must finalize the menu quickly. Though the challenges loom large, the group steels themselves to face the coming days, aware that the road ahead will test their resolve and teamwork like never before. As the team faces the reality of their pop-up event space, frustration bubbles up when they realize Tsunezaki left out critical details about the kitchen setup. One member bluntly declares that the kind of kitchen they've been given is a complete no-go, too risky for mistakes, especially with Tsubaki's fragile mental state making her seem overwhelmed and withdrawn. Despite this setback, they decide to focus on what they can control, agreeing to concentrate their efforts on the front of the event. Since there won't be snacks to manage, with a large crowd expected, finalizing the menu becomes a priority. In a lighthearted attempt to boost morale, one of them jokes about spinning a potter's wheel, while another offers to showcase latte art, even if these skills don't directly relate to the sweets collection. The group quickly realizes that being surrounded by brand name stores means they won't suddenly be swamped with customers, as shoppers will likely flock to the well-known spots first. This insight brings a bit of relief, as it means fewer eyes on their work and less pressure. With renewed determination, they prepare to face the challenges ahead, ready to make the most of their unique opportunity despite the hurdles. After Tsunezaki leaves, the team is left alone to face the reality of their situation. Frustration bubbles up as they realize just how much crucial information was left out about the kitchen setup. One member bluntly declares that this kind of kitchen is a total no-go, far too risky for mistakes, especially with Tsubaki's fragile mental state making her seem overwhelmed and withdrawn. Despite these setbacks, they begin to strategize, deciding to focus on the front of the event since there won't be snacks to manage. They acknowledge that the crowd will likely be large, so finalizing the menu quickly is essential. As they discuss, one jokes about spinning a potter's wheel, while another offers to show off latte art, trying to lighten the mood even if those skills don't directly apply. They also realize that being surrounded by big-name stores means they won't be instantly swarmed by customers, which brings some relief. With a renewed sense of determination, the team commits to taking it slow, getting the hang of things, and gradually drawing in more customers by calling them in little by little. As they settle into their roles, the day begins, marking the start of their challenging yet hopeful journey at the pop-up event. Just before opening, the scene is filled with the bustling noise of a crowd eagerly waiting in line. The line stretches endlessly, winding through the space in front of Rokuhudo, with customers chatting excitedly about what to try next. The team watches in stunned silence, their expressions a mix of disbelief and awe as they take in the sheer number of people gathered. The unexpected turnout leaves them questioning what exactly is drawing such a crowd, setting the stage for a day that promises to test their skills and resolve in ways they hadn't anticipated. As the team surveys the long line of people waiting outside, disbelief washes over them. Could this crowd really be for their pop-up event? Doubts quickly arise, with some convinced the line must be for the popular Lumiere shop nearby. But then, a sudden alarm breaks through the uncertainty when one of them notices flyers being handed out. Revealing that the buzz is indeed about their sweets collection, without hesitation, he dashes forward, waving the flyer and shouting for everyone to see. The flyer boldly announces that the well-known hidden gem Rokuhudo is here for 3 days only, confirming that the crowd is theirs. This revelation shifts the mood instantly, as the team realizes their efforts have sparked genuine interest, setting the stage for a challenging but promising day ahead. As the team gathers around a flyer promoting their pop-up event, they can't help but feel the weight of unexpected pressure. The flyer hypes Rokuhudo as a hidden gem and a rare and exquisite tea shop, highlighting the pastry chef's artistic skills as a must-see attraction. The glowing praise leaves them stunned, with some nervously wondering if the photos look too perfect or even computer-generated. Yet, the chef confidently assures them that the images are genuine. The group exchanges uneasy glances, realizing that Rokuhudo is now under intense scrutiny. Just then, a sharply dressed man arrives, his presence commanding attention. His confident demeanor hints that this new development might change the course of their event, leaving the team to brace themselves for what lies ahead. Just as the team is left alone to grapple with the daunting reality of their kitchen setup, frustration mounts over the lack of crucial details. One member bluntly declares the kitchen a no-go, especially with Tsubaki's fragile mental state making her seem overwhelmed and withdrawn. Despite this, they decide to focus on the front of the event, knowing the crowd will be large and that finalizing the menu quickly is essential. Amid the tension, a bit of humor surfaces with jokes about spinning a potter's wheel and showing off latte art, even if those skills don't quite fit the sweets collection. They also realize that being surrounded by big-name stores means they won't be instantly swarmed, which brings some relief. Then, the source of this unexpected buzz becomes clear. Tsunezaki's behind the scenes, orchestrating the excitement with a mischievous grin and a thumbs up. His playful teasing sets the stage for a dramatic showdown, leaving the team caught between anticipation and anxiety. As they prepare for whatever comes next, with a cackle and a laugh, Tsunezaki revels in the unfolding spectacle, confident that whether they rise to fame or falter, the spotlight is now firmly on them. With a confident smirk, Tsunezaki announces that he went through all the trouble of setting up Rokuhudo's booth just to see what they have to offer, challenging them to show their best. Inside the lively and bustling booth, the atmosphere is energetic as customers eagerly gather around. The team prepares to serve 3 types of daifuku, 2 dark matcha sweets, and chocolate tarts, promising to have everything ready shortly. The scene captures the vibrant energy of the event, with people chatting and enjoying the moment, setting the stage for Rokuhudo to prove its worth under the watchful eyes of Tsunezaki and the eager crowd. The day of the pop-up event unfolds with a steady stream of customers finally reaching the front, where the time is announced to be about an hour. Despite the long line, the team remains hopeful, exchanging polite thanks with each guest as they place their orders. The rush has clearly exceeded their expectations, leaving them both exhilarated and anxious about keeping up with demand. As the orders pile up, a request comes in for an additional daifuku, and without hesitation, the team scrambles to accommodate it. Yet beneath the surface, a sense of unease lingers. One member quietly wonders how things spiraled into such overwhelming territory, questioning how they ended up in this intense situation. Still, the team pushes forward, determined to meet the challenge and make the event a success. As the event kicks into full gear, Tsubaki finds herself overwhelmed, acutely aware of the intense gaze from the growing crowd surrounding her. Every move she makes feels scrutinized, and the pressure mounts as she struggles to keep up with preparing the parfaits. The weight of being watched so closely unsettles her, making her question if she might have been better off doing something completely different, like working on a pottery wheel instead. The mounting panic reveals just how much the spotlight is affecting her, leaving her desperate to remember what kind of sweets she's supposed to be making amidst the chaos. As the pressure mounts in the kitchen, the chef can't help but admit that things are terrible, questioning the very vibe he was aiming for with these sweets. The tension is palpable as he struggles to keep his composure, clearly overwhelmed by the mounting challenges. Just then, a calm voice breaks through the chaos, gently patting him on the shoulder and asking if he's taken a moment to observe the customers in the dining area. Caught off guard, he hesitates, unsure if he's ready to face the crowd yet. This subtle reminder hints that despite the turmoil behind the scenes, there might still be hope to connect with the guests and find a way forward. As the event unfolds, the team is left to handle the kitchen alone, and the pressure quickly mounts. One member bluntly declares the kitchen setup a no-go, especially with Tsubaki's fragile mental state making her seem overwhelmed and withdrawn. They acknowledge that the kitchen is a disaster zone, but since the front is expected to be crowded, they decide to focus on finalizing the menu and serving the customers. Despite the chaos, a bit of humor lightens the mood with jokes about spinning a potter's wheel and showing off latte art, even if those skills don't quite fit the sweets lineup. Meanwhile, Tsunezaki watches from behind the scenes, his mischievous grin and thumbs up fueling the tension as he challenges Rokuhudo to show their best. Inside the booth, the atmosphere buzzes with energy as customers eagerly gather, enjoying the 3 types of daifuku, dark matcha sweets, and chocolate tarts the team has prepared. The rush exceeds expectations, and the team scrambles to keep up, exchanging polite thanks with each guest while quietly wondering how things escalated so quickly. Tsubaki, feeling the intense gaze of the crowd, struggles under the spotlight, questioning if she might have been better off doing something else entirely. The chef admits the kitchen vibe is terrible, but a calm voice reminds him to observe the customers in the dining area, hinting that despite the turmoil, there's still hope to connect with the guests and find a way forward. As customers savor the sweets, compliments pour in, the black soybeans in the layered cheesecake, the tsubuin in the parfait, and the kanako mousse all delight everyone. Encouraged by the positive reception, the team rallies to keep going, determined to make the event a success under Tsunezaki's watchful eyes. As the pop-up event presses on, the team faces an unexpected blow when they discover that the daifuku cakes have completely sold out. Even though there's still time left before closing, the realization hits hard, and a wave of disappointment washes over the staff as they watch customers arrive, only to be told the treats are no longer available. One woman, clearly disheartened, admits she had planned to stop by later after seeing how interesting the shop looked. Despite the setback, the team remains gracious and composed, with one member stepping forward to offer a drink to those who've come all this way, hoping to ease their disappointment and maintain the warm atmosphere. This moment underscores both the overwhelming success of the event and the bittersweet challenge of meeting such high demand, leaving the team determined to keep their spirits up and continue delivering the best experience possible for their guests. As the customers continue to enjoy the sweets, the team exchanges compliments on the delicate flavors, the layered cheesecake with its rich black soybeans, the parfait featuring smooth tsubuin, and the light kanako mousse that simply melts in the mouth. Observing the delighted reactions, Rokuhudo feels a quiet satisfaction. Knowing their efforts are paying off, encouraged, the team pushes forward, determined to maintain the momentum. Suddenly, the daifuku cakes sell out completely, catching everyone off guard. The staff watches with mixed feelings as more customers arrive, only to be told the popular treats are no longer available. One woman, clearly disappointed, admits she had planned to visit later after being intrigued by the shop. Despite the setback, the team handles the situation with grace, offering drinks to those who came hoping for daifuku, striving to keep the atmosphere warm and welcoming. Meanwhile, a confident figure steps forward to introduce himself as the store's barista, proudly presenting his signature latte art. His enthusiasm shines as he invites guests to enjoy specialties like Rokuhudo's Café au lait. The unexpected display of latte art surprises the team, especially the chef, who questions if such artistry fits their service style. Yet, when the barista serves a cup topped with an exquisitely crafted leaf design, the customers are visibly impressed, their delight adding a fresh spark to the event. This blend of sweet treats and elegant coffee art breathes new life into the pop-up, showing that even amid challenges, the team can find creative ways to connect with their guests and keep the event thriving. As the event winds down, the team finally catches a moment to breathe, sharing quiet compliments on their creations. The kanako mousse melts delicately in the mouth, the parfait's smooth tsubuin impresses, and the black soybeans add a rich depth to the layered cheesecake. Watching the customers' delighted reactions, the chef feels a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing their hard work has truly paid off. Yet exhaustion quickly sets in. One team member admits he's never been this busy before, while Tsubaki lies silently, clearly drained from the day's intensity. Despite their fatigue, the mood remains light as they joke about their skills. One even quips that while animals are his specialty, the barista can only do leaves well in latte art. The night falls quietly outside, the calm after the storm, as the team reflects on the overwhelming success and the challenges they faced. Though tired, their spirits remain unbroken, ready to face whatever comes next with renewed determination. As the event draws to a close, the team reflects on the overwhelming success but also the challenge of running out of stock too soon. One of them admits feeling bad about selling out everything before the end, prompting a thoughtful reconsideration of how much to prepare next time. Suddenly, concern arises when Tsubaki, clearly exhausted, collapses onto the couch. His friends rush to check on him, worried if he's okay. Despite their calls, he remains unresponsive, murmuring something about the cafe menu before drifting off to sleep. The others exchange anxious glances, realizing just how much the day's efforts have taken a toll on him. Their concern is palpable as they urge him to wake up, but for now, he remains peacefully asleep, leaving the future of the cafe menu hanging in suspense. On the second day of the event, the atmosphere at the Rokuhudo pop-up remains lively and inviting. Passers-by notice that today's special offering is matcha and mitsu, a refreshing change from the parfait served the day before. The crowd's chatter fills the air as customers eagerly discuss the new treat, impressed by the variety and quality that seems to evolve daily. Observing this, a well-dressed man remarks on their consistent success, noting how the team keeps surprising guests with fresh ideas. His companion looks on, curious but pleased, as the shop continues to draw a steady stream of visitors. This steady momentum highlights the team's ability to adapt and innovate, ensuring that each day brings something new to delight their growing audience. As the second day of the Rokuhudo pop-up unfolds, the team embraces a new approach by offering matcha and mitsu alongside black sesame parfaits, aiming to keep the menu fresh and enticing for returning customers. This strategy seems to pay off, as the crowd grows even larger than the day before, filling the gallery with eager guests. The team members work seamlessly together, taking orders with practiced efficiency and exchanging encouraging words. The atmosphere buzzes with excitement and anticipation, as everyone recognizes the value of changing the menu daily to draw people back again and again. Despite the increasing pressure, the team remains composed, confident that their variety of offerings will continue to delight visitors and sustain the event's success. As the pop-up continues, the team finds themselves hitting a comfortable stride. Despite the initial uncertainty, they've managed to settle into a smooth rhythm, each member focused and working in harmony. The chef's precise movements draw admiration from onlookers, his skillful handling of the dishes impressing everyone around. The steady flow of customers and the seamless teamwork give the team a renewed sense of confidence. Reflecting on the progress, they realize that if they maintain this momentum, the final day of the event should pass without any major issues, leaving them hopeful and motivated to keep pushing forward. As the third day of the event begins, the team is caught off guard by an unexpected visitor. Tsunezaki, usually calm and reserved, surprises everyone by revealing that this man wants to interview them. Citing their growing popularity at the pop-up, the group exchanges stunned glances, unsure how to respond to this sudden attention. Despite the shock, the invitation hints at new opportunities and recognition for their hard work, marking a turning point in their journey. The atmosphere shifts from the usual hustle of serving customers to a moment filled with anticipation and curiosity about what this interview could mean for their future. Just as the team begins to wind down and prepare to pack up, an unexpected visitor arrives with surprising news. He explains that he has the opportunity to introduce multiple stores and naturally thought of Rokuhudo for this chance. Though the team is caught off guard and hesitant, he insists that this will be great publicity and wants to help them after all they've been through during the event. With a confident smile, he reveals that he has already secured approval to move forward, prompting the sudden appearance of a camera crew and a reporter ready to start filming. The team is left stunned, unsure of what exactly is unfolding, as the new chapter for Rokuhudo seems to be beginning right before their eyes. The next day, a lively TV crew unexpectedly arrives at Rokuhudo, announcing a visit to showcase the shop. The team, dressed in their traditional robes, greets the crew warmly, though the sudden attention catches them off guard. The reporter enthusiastically explains that viewers will get to see a live demonstration of how their sweets are made right on the spot. While some members try to stay composed, the chef visibly freezes under the camera's gaze, struggling to explain what he's preparing. Despite the pressure, the team braces themselves, hoping to get through the interview smoothly with only a few questions. The atmosphere is a mix of excitement and nervous anticipation as they face this new challenge, marking another unexpected step in Rokuhudo's rising journey. As the tasting session continues, the guests eagerly share their impressions of the desserts. One praises the black soybeans, noting their rich flavor layered like a cheesecake, while another marvels at the kanako mousse, describing it as a light, creamy treat that melts in the mouth. The parfait also receives high marks, tempting others to try it as well. Watching all this, the chef feels a quiet satisfaction, realizing that everyone is truly delighted by their offerings. Encouraged by the positive feedback, the team rallies together, ready to keep the momentum going. One member calls out for more special mousse, eager to match the success of the parfait, and the others respond with enthusiasm, determined to continue impressing their guests. Then, shifting focus, the scene moves to a special treat from the shop. The famous Hana Daifuku. The shopkeeper explains that this limited edition Daifuku uses hanamame, or flower beans, known for their gentle sweetness and popularity that causes them to sell out quickly. As the Daifuku is offered for tasting, the guest is immediately captivated by the fluffy hanamame's delicate sweetness perfectly complementing the sticky mochi. The joy is palpable, with the guest exclaiming how amazing the combination is. To top it off, the menu for the day features a cake made with the same prized ingredient, inviting everyone to indulge further. The atmosphere is light and cheerful, with the team playfully encouraging the guests to try all the treats, celebrating the success of their carefully crafted sweets and the warm reception they've received. As the tasting session continues, the guests eagerly share their praise for the desserts, highlighting the rich, layered flavor of the black soybeans that remind one of cheesecake, and the kanako mousse, which melts lightly in the mouth with its creamy texture. The parfait also draws admiration, tempting others to give it a try. Watching this, the chef feels a quiet satisfaction, knowing everyone is truly delighted. Encouraged by the positive feedback, the team rallies, calling for more special mousse to match the parfait's success. Their enthusiasm renewed, the focus then shifts to a special treat. The famous Hana Daifuku, made with delicate hanamame beans known for their gentle sweetness and quick sellout. As the guest tastes the fluffy Daifuku, they are captivated by the perfect harmony of sweet beans and sticky mochi, exclaiming over the amazing combination. The menu for the day also features a cake made with the same prized ingredient, inviting everyone to indulge further. The atmosphere is light and cheerful, with the team playfully encouraging the guests to try all the treats, celebrating the warm reception of their carefully crafted sweets. Later, the scene moves to an interview where the owner reveals that Rokuhudo was originally run by his grandfather, and that he decided to continue in his footsteps. He explains how he connected with the select, highly skilled team to carry on the tradition. The reporter expresses admiration for this inspiring story, impressed by the young owner's dedication and the remarkable team he has gathered. This glimpse into the shop's history and passion adds a heartfelt layer to the growing recognition Rokuhudo is receiving, marking another meaningful step in their journey. As the tasting session continues, the guests eagerly share their praise for the desserts, marveling at the rich, layered flavor of the black soybeans that remind one of cheesecake, and the kanako mousse, which melts lightly in the mouth with its creamy texture. The parfait also draws admiration, tempting others to give it a try. Watching this, the chef feels a quiet satisfaction, knowing everyone is truly delighted. Encouraged by the positive feedback, the team rallies, calling for more special mousse to match the parfait's success, their enthusiasm renewed. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts when the reporter asks a pointed question, directing it at the manager. He inquires if the manager is related to someone from a large enterprise. The question hangs in the air, catching everyone off guard. The manager's expression tightens as he processes the implication. While the others look on with surprise and concern, the tension rises as the question hints at deeper connections and possible complications, leaving the team and viewers wondering about the true nature of the manager's background and its impact on their journey. As the team continues their lively tasting session, the manager is suddenly asked by the reporter about a secret connection he might have to a large enterprise. The question catches everyone off guard, and the manager's expression tightens as he carefully considers how to respond. With a calm but knowing smile, he reveals that he does indeed treasure a secret connection, though there's nothing he can do now that the information has leaked. Just then, a cat named Kanako makes a dramatic entrance, drawing attention as the manager declares this feline to be his heart's refuge and Rokuhudo's hidden gem. The unexpected reveal lightens the mood, even as the mystery of the manager's background lingers, adding a new layer of intrigue to the story. As the tasting session winds down, the team shares a lighthearted moment when a cat named Kanako makes a charming appearance, instantly capturing everyone's hearts. The manager proudly introduces Kanako as the shop's beloved lucky mascot, bringing a warm and joyful vibe to the scene. With the event nearing its close, the team invites everyone to visit Rokuhudo beyond the showcase, promising a wide variety of treats waiting at their shop. Their cheerful farewell is met with surprise from the guests, who hadn't expected the event to wrap up so soon. Still, the friendly invitation and the sight of the smiling team leave a lasting impression, wrapping up the day on a hopeful and inviting note. As the day wraps up, the team gathers together with a cheerful greeting, expressing their gratitude for everyone's visit and praising the excellent work done throughout the event. The mood is light and friendly as they exchange smiles and casual banter, reflecting on the whirlwind 3 days they've spent showcasing Rokuhudo. Despite the sudden interview that caught them off guard, the team appreciates the opportunity to share their passion and the story behind their craft. With a sense of accomplishment and camaraderie, they prepare to close the chapter on this event, looking forward to what lies ahead for their beloved shop. As the tasting session continues, the guests can't help but praise the desserts, marveling at the rich, layered flavor of the black soybeans that evoke the creamy texture of cheesecake. While the Kanako mousse melts delicately in the mouth, its light creaminess winning over everyone. The parfait also draws admiration, tempting others to try it, and seeing this, the chef feels a quiet satisfaction knowing his creations are truly delighting the crowd. Encouraged by the positive feedback, the team rallies, calling for more of the special mousse to match the parfait's success. Their enthusiasm renewed. Suddenly, the mood shifts when the reporter asks the manager if he has any ties to a large enterprise, a question that catches everyone off guard. The manager's expression tightens as he carefully considers his response, then reveals with a calm but knowing smile that he does indeed have a secret connection, though now that it's out, there's nothing he can do to hide it. Just then, a cat named Kanako makes a charming entrance, instantly capturing everyone's hearts. The manager proudly introduces Kanako as the shop's beloved lucky mascot, a heartwarming presence and Rokuhudo's hidden gem. This unexpected reveal lightens the atmosphere, even as the mystery around the manager's background lingers, adding a new layer of intrigue. As the event winds down, the team invites everyone to visit Rokuhudo beyond the showcase, promising a wide variety of treats waiting at their shop. Their cheerful farewell surprises the guests, who hadn't expected the event to end so soon. But the friendly invitation and the sight of the smiling team leave a lasting impression, wrapping up the day on a hopeful and inviting note. Finally, as the day closes, the team gathers with warm smiles and casual banter, expressing gratitude for everyone's visit and praising the excellent work done throughout the event. Despite the earlier tension, they appreciate the chance to share their passion and the story behind their craft, feeling a sense of accomplishment and camaraderie as they look forward to what lies ahead for their beloved shop. As the guests continue to savor the desserts, their praise grows louder. The black soybeans offer a rich, layered taste reminiscent of cheesecake, while the kanako mousse simply melts in the mouth with its delicate creaminess, encouraged by the compliments. The chef watches quietly, satisfied that his creations are truly winning hearts. The team, energized by the positive response, calls for more mousse to keep up with the parfait's popularity. Eager to maintain the momentum, suddenly, the atmosphere shifts when a reporter asks the manager if he has any ties to a large company, catching everyone off guard. The manager's expression tightens briefly before he calmly admits to having a secret connection. Though now that it's out, there's no hiding it. Just then, a cat named Kanako makes a charming entrance, instantly capturing everyone's attention. Proudly, the manager introduces Kanako as the shop's lucky mascot and hidden gem, bringing warmth and lightness to the room despite the lingering mystery about his background. As the event nears its end, the team warmly invites everyone to visit Rokuhudo beyond the showcase, promising a wide variety of treats waiting at their shop. Their cheerful farewell surprises the guests, who hadn't expected the event to wrap up so soon, but the friendly invitation and the team's smiles leave a lasting impression, closing the day on a hopeful and inviting note. Finally, as the day winds down, the team gathers with relaxed smiles and casual banter, expressing gratitude for everyone's visit and praising the excellent work done throughout the event. Despite earlier tensions, they appreciate the chance to share their passion and the story behind their craft, feeling a strong sense of accomplishment and camaraderie as they look ahead to the future of their beloved shop. Just as the team is wrapping up their successful event, a sudden commotion breaks out when a striking figure appears. It's the renowned pâtissier from East Side Grande, a rising star in the world of Western confectionery. The guests immediately recognize him from a magazine feature, buzzing with excitement and hoping for an autograph. Meanwhile, the team watches in stunned silence as he confidently strides forward, greeting Tsunezaki with a warm compliment on his work. This unexpected visit from such a celebrated figure adds a thrilling new twist to the day, leaving everyone eager to see what will come next. As night falls over the city, a cheerful figure makes his way through the office building. His steps light and full of energy. With a bright smile, he bursts through the door, announcing his return with a joyful greeting. "Q, I'm back." His enthusiasm fills the room, signaling the end of a long day and the start of a lively reunion. After the event, the team at Rokuhudo reflects on the day with a sense of fulfillment. One of them remarks on how entertaining it was to observe the staff in action, praising their flawless performance, despite some earlier attempts to stir up drama by revealing the manager's secret connection through a reporter. The truth was skillfully avoided, leaving the atmosphere calm and positive. The team member admits that his role was mainly to help with publicity, and though his plan to expose the secret didn't succeed, he's content with how things turned out. As he leans back, he smiles and acknowledges the smooth success of the event, feeling satisfied that everything went well and looking forward to what's next for Rokuhudo. As the guests continue to savor the exquisite desserts, their praise grows louder. The black soybeans boast a rich, layered flavor reminiscent of cheesecake, while the kanako mousse simply melts in the mouth with its delicate creaminess. Watching quietly from the kitchen, the chef feels a quiet satisfaction, knowing his creations are truly winning hearts. Energized by the positive response, the team eagerly calls for more mousse to keep up with the parfait's soaring popularity. Amid the cheerful atmosphere, a familiar voice calls out, "Tokataka," prompting a teammate to urge, "Let's keep going." As they dive back into their work with renewed vigor, later, a more serious tone settles in as a man in glasses reflects thoughtfully, acknowledging that it seems the brother doesn't want to talk about his family. When asked if anyone has tried to meddle, he calmly replies that no one has asked him to get involved. It was purely a personal interest. This quiet revelation hints at deeper, unspoken matters beneath the surface, leaving an air of mystery as the story moves forward. The next day, the scene shifts to a sleek office where two men in suits share a moment of quiet tension. One of them, with a calm yet knowing smile, comments on the strained relationship between Q and his brother, noting how amusing it is that Q's brother mirrors his expressions and demeanor so closely. The atmosphere is a mix of subtle rivalry and familial complexity, as the man reminds Q to prepare thoroughly for his upcoming exhibition. Despite the serious undertone, a brief exchange of playful banter lightens the mood before the man walks away, acknowledging Q's hard work and the weight of living up to the prestigious Togoku family name. This glimpse into their world hints at deeper expectations and pressures, setting the stage for the challenges Q will face as he navigates both family dynamics and his professional path. As the team enjoys the glowing praise from their guests, the rich flavors of the black soybeans and the delicate kanako mousse captivate everyone's taste buds, leaving them delighted and eager for more. The chef watches quietly, a satisfied calm settling over him as the parfait's popularity soars and the team rallies to keep up with the demand. Encouraged by the energy, they push forward with renewed determination, spurred on by a familiar call to keep going. Yet beneath the lively atmosphere, a more somber reflection takes hold as a man in glasses contemplates the reluctance of Q's brother to discuss their family, hinting at deeper, unspoken tensions. The scene shifts to a sleek office the next day, where a man with a knowing smile comments on the strained but oddly mirrored relationship between Q and his brother, reminding him of the heavy expectations tied to the Togoku family name. As the conversation ends with a mix of seriousness and light banter, the weight of legacy and the challenges ahead become clear. Later, a weary figure sits alone, glasses removed, burdened by the knowledge that Kyushi is still struggling to keep his place afloat. Looking out at the night sky, he quietly utters the name Yakyu, a word heavy with meaning, signaling the emotional crossroads and unresolved struggles that lie ahead.